presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are San Diego.
The Padres caravan continues through the desert. Tonight, they face the ace of the Diamondbacks. Zach Greinke will be on the mound. Game 2 is next. Last night was a spectacular offensive display by the San Diego Padres. 18 total hits, 10 runs last night for Andy Green's team in a win in Game 1 of the series. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres baseball. Last night was electric for San Diego, an outstanding game, one they've been waiting for a while, especially the top of the order.
You know, usually when we talk about setting the table 1 through 2, maybe 3, how about 1 through 5 last night? A handful of Padres. Look at the numbers, and they don't lie. 1 through 5 at 462. They hit the ball out of the ballpark 3 times. They drove in 7, and the slugging percentage, 846. But the thing that sticks out to me, Don, 28 plate appearances combined, 1 through 5. They only struck out 4 times, putting the ball in play, using the whole field as well. I believe good hitting is contagious and really hard to hold back the smiles right there in the Padre dugout. They need to carry over the momentum tonight against Zach Greinke.
Going to be difficult. Zach Greinke, as you mentioned, certainly Arizona very excited about getting him. Did not start well, but he's coming around to be the old Zach Greinke.
You know, timing is everything, and Zach Greinke seems like he is morphing into the Zach Greinke from years past, because the first 5, not good at all. But this is a guy I'm not really worried about, and I don't think the Diamondbacks are worried at all either. Last 5 games, turn it around, 3.18 ERA. The one thing for Greinke is this, his location. He has to dot the fastball down and way down, and he wasn't doing that. He was catching too much of the plate. That's why you see the high numbers.
Tonight, Cesar Vargas still looking for that elusive first Major League win.
I think last time out for Cesar was his best outing, no doubt, against the Dodgers. 7 solid innings, struck out 7. The kid's not overpowering, but he throws to all quadrants of the plate. Down and away, up and in, down and in. He'll throw the hammer anytime. He's got a pretty darn good changeup too, but if he avoids the sweet spot tonight, I think he could go deep into the ballgame.
Well, the starters have been going deep into ball games for the Padres. It's been a good thing. We'll come back and talk about the starting pitching right after this. Out for the Padres is Cesar Vargas, and boy, the starters have been so good for the Padres.
So good, they're as good as teams that are in first place or tied for first. The Cubs, Nationals, Giants, and Mets right up there as far as their starters are concerned. Hoping the Padres can keep it going tonight with Cesar Vargas.
With more as we get ready for Game 2, let's send it down to field level and Julie.
Hey guys, well, nobody has been more impressed with the job of the starting rotation than Darren Balsley, pitching coach. He told me that the three guys in the back of the rotation, what an amazing surprise. You take Christian Friedrich and Cesar Vargas, who were not even slated to be starters. They were supposedly going to be relievers, and here they are making their starts here and doing it so well. Also, Drew Pomerantz, who was slated to be a reliever, didn't make the starting rotation till halfway through spring training and is now in the conversation for the Cy Young Award this year. He said the one commonality between all three guys, they're all hard workers, and they all know that each start is a chance to keep their jobs here. Incredibly hard workers and working for a cause. Awesome to see. Well, when we come back, the Padres taking on the Diamondbacks. It's time to attack Zach, people. Let's get it started. Game 2 against the Diamondbacks starts now.
Like a fire, you only need a spark. For the Padres, that spark has come in the form of Yangervis Solarte. His return to the Padres lineup has brought a much-needed boost of energy, enthusiasm, and yes, power. Last night, that power spread like a wildfire as the Padres exploded for 18 hits, including 4 home runs. Tonight, D-backs ace Zach Greinke takes the hill, looking to cool the flames. D-backs and Padres from the desert starts right now. Ready to go in Arizona is Andy Green, the former Diamondback coach and player, as the Padres and Diamondbacks get ready for the middle game of this 3-game series. Let's check out the Padres starting 9, brought to you by Toyota. John Jay leads it off in center field with Will Myers at first base. Matt Kemp in right field. Yangervis Solarte, last night's hero, at third base and back in the cleanup spot for the second straight night. Melvin Upton Jr. in left. Brett Wallace at third base with Derek Norris doing the catching. Alexei Ramirez is at shortstop, and Cesar Vargas bats out of the 9 spot. Having a deal tonight with Zach Greinke. Not an easy task, to say the least, as Greinke is right. Certainly one of the game's best pitchers, and he is ready. The first pitch of the ball game's in there for strike 1, and we are underway. Leading it off here is John Jay, 278, 2 homers, and 15 runs batted in. Outfield set up straight away on John Jay to get it started. I'll pick up the outside corner. If he's going to get that all night, it's going to be a long night.
getting good downward plane also on those first 2 pitches, working in and out. We talked about Zach Greinke. Hey, the first 5 not so good, but it seems like he's on his way to possibly be the Zach Greinke we've known from years past.
One problem he has had is pitching here at his new home, though. Chase Field has not been good for him so far this year. So trying to rectify that as the Padres and Diamondbacks meeting here for the second game of 3. We'll play day baseball here tomorrow in the finale of the series. On the ground, foul. Roof is open, second straight night.
Beautiful night here in the desert.
Very comfortable. It won't be in about a week or so.
No.
But right now it is.
Timing's everything. So today was, what was it, high 80s, low 90s?
1-2 pitch, and that is going to be just outside. That had been called a strike. The second pitch of that sequence. Here are the road and home splits we were talking about. 2 and 3 so far at home. 3 and 0 away from Chase Field. Earned run average here at 6.63. Ground ball towards second base. Softly hit. Segura takes care of Jay. 1 down here in the first.
Well, Zach Greinke, the 32-year-old, making his 11th start, and the scouting report looks something like this. He's returning to form, hitting his spots. Before, it was maybe a ball over the heart of the plate where he usually worked the corners. And he's got that pinpoint control when he is on as well. Going to keep a couple of things, a couple of eyes on my, on his rather. I'll get it right. On his mechanics tonight, because usually he has that high front side. See what he's doing with his front side, his glove side. Used to be really high with that. Not as high right there.
Will Myers carving the first one foul off to the right out of play.
And Zach Greinke would be the first to say he needs to stay on top of the baseball. If he starts working around the baseball like any pitcher, that spells trouble.
From Orlando, Florida, still resides there during the offseason. I would say it was somewhat of a surprise to see him sign here at the Diamondbacks.
I was shocked, quite frankly.
Thought he was going back with the Dodgers again. We've seen during the course of the year the Dodgers really could use him as their #2 starter behind Clayton Kershaw. It's been all about Kershaw. And then everybody else with the Dodgers. Myers will take the strike and is down 1-2.
Well, I mentioned his front side. Watch his glove. His glove used to go way up above his head. And now it's like even with his chin. He used to have that glove way up in the air and then over the top. That's an adjustment that I've just noticed right out of the gate. Right there.
Strike 3 call. Myers strikes out. First K of the night for Zach Greinke. 2 down here in the first inning. Let's check out the defense behind Greinke for the Diamondbacks tonight. From left to right across the outfield, Brandon Drury, Chris Owings, and Michael Bourne. Third to first, Jake Lamb, Nick Ahmed, Gene Segura, and Paul Goldschmidt, with Wellington Castillo doing the catching for Zach Greinke.
Well, I just hope it's a consistent strike zone when Cesar Vargas goes out there on the hill.
2 down here in the first inning. Matt Kemp, the batter. Kemp drives one to deep left field. Deep, far, and very gone. Home run for Matt Kemp. His 12th home run of the year puts the Padres on top 1-0. Homered last night. He's done it again tonight. And San Diego takes the 1-0 lead. Home run number 12 of the year for Matt Kemp.
First pitch hacking. And once again, location. He wanted that one down and away. That's on the inside part of the plate above the belt. Now, you're not going to sneak too many by Matt Kemp when you're throwing a fastball there, because guys are looking middle in. First pitch, fastball, and he got it. Wow.
Tail of the tape, 432 feet. Exit velocity, 109 miles an hour.
That's fast.
Well, last night's hero, Jan Hervis Solarte, will now give it a go here against Greinke. 2 down in the first, and Kemp with a home run. And Hervis with a couple of home runs in last night's game. Now 3 on the year, 11 RBIs, and a .289 average. See how Greinke reacts after it. There's a ground ball by the mound softly to Segura. And that'll take care of that. But Matt Kemp has gone deep for the 12th time this year. And Kemp has given the Padres a 1-0 lead after half an inning in Arizona. A blast to left field here at Chase Field. Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Infinity. Visit your local San Diego area Infinity retailer for test drive today. By Petco, your complete pet store. By Pinnacle on the Park, make your new home here. Visit pinnacleonthepark.com for details. And by Sony High-Res Audio. Finally, hear everything. Back in the desert. Good start for the Padres tonight, on top 1-0. Cesar Vargas on the mound here for the Padres. Matt Kemp with a home run that has given the Padres the 1-0 advantage early tonight. Gene Segura leading it off here now for the Diamondbacks. Oh, swing and a miss. A foul tip there makes it 0-2. Segura, big pickup for the Diamondbacks. Part of the reason that they were so excited heading into this season. You get Greinke, who we're seeing tonight. Segura, who's leading off, and he's been great.
Absolutely. And then you throw in Goldschmidt, right, with the years that he has had.
Swing and a miss. Got away from Norris, who clears the runner and throws him out for a strikeout for Cesar Vargas. Let's check out the Diamondbacks lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. Just saw Gene Segura, the second baseman. Michael Bourne getting a start in right field with Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Jake Lamb at third. Wellington Castillo catches with Brandon Drury in left. Chris Owings in center. Zach Greinke, the pitcher, is having a good year at the plate. Bats eighth for Chip Hale. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, bats ninth.
And the scouting report for Cesar Vargas brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. And the right-hander, he attacks the zone. He's not scared off. Any pitch, any time for Cesar.
And down for Michael Bourne. A speedy outfielder getting the start in right field tonight for the Diamondbacks. Vargas trying to pick up that outside corner. Brett Wallace in at the bag at third. Todd Titchener has the plate tonight. Bill Miller, the crew chief, at first base. Tony Randazzo at second. And Brian Knight, the umpire, at third. 2-0 pitch runs away, and it's 3-0. One called up from Double-A on May the 15th. He signed with Arizona to a minor league contract after he had been designated for assignment by the Atlanta Braves the first week of April. Strike on the outside corner. I guess that answers your question as to whether or not he's going to call it for both sides.
And as a pitcher, if Vargas can control that cutter, he threw a 3-0 cutter there. Very comfortable with that pitch.
Back out there again, but too far. Bourne always a threat to steal, and he's aboard with one out here in the first inning. Let's check out the Padres defensively behind Cesar Vargas, brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Coming up to junior in left, John Jay in center, Matt Kemp around in right. Brett Wallace at third. It is Alexei Ramirez at short. Don Hervis Solarte at second. Will Myers at first. Dirk Norris doing the catching for Cesar Vargas. Michael Bourne at first, 1 out, one of the game's best hitters. Paul Goldschmidt, who has struggled for a lot of the year, will take strike 1.
Yeah, kept him in the yard last night. If you can do that, you give him a single here and there, yeah, you're doing your job. This season, numbers are down. Down and away, up and in. He'll chase. Boy, last night in that strikeout early in the game, the first inning was all upper body. Bad looking swing by Goldschmidt.
Goes the other way. Deep was Kent, and that's going to fall. Heading to third is Bourne, and he'll be stopped there on the double by Goldschmidt. They're all backed up, ready for Goldschmidt's power in right field. And Matt Kemp had that one fall well in front of him and towards the line. So all of a sudden, with 1 out, Diamondbacks have runners at second and third.
Yeah, I don't care how poorly or how badly a hitter is slumping. If Paul Goldschmidt is not himself, you still have to respect that power. First pitch cutter for a strike. Down and away even more by Vargas off the end of the bat. Doesn't hit the sweet spot. Matt Kemp playing deep like the other outfielders, respecting that possible power of Goldschmidt. And once again, you keep him in the ballpark. Sure, 2 runners in scoring position, but now he's got some work to do.
Now Vargas from the stretch dealing with Jake Lamb, the third baseman for the Diamondbacks. And he misses away for ball 1. .280 average for Lamb, 7 homers and 24 runs batted in. Did not start last night, came off the bench, as a lot of the D-backs did in last night's game.
It'll be interesting to see how he pitches him right here. You got first base open. There is 1 out. If it's bases loaded, you got a double play in order. You've got a slow runner on deck, which is Wellington Castillo, the catcher. And Castillo has grounded into 3 double plays this year.
Would appear to be a double play candidate.
This 2-0 pitch might tell us a lot about how he's going about. All right. Boy, he's giving that off the plate, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Both sides.
Did for Greinke, and now he is for Vargas. There's Wellington Castillo waiting on deck. The Diamondbacks have really struggled with runners in scoring position. 4 for their last 32. Last 4 games, not this time. Liner into right. From third comes Bourne. Goldschmidt behind him as the throw will be cut off and offline. And just like that, Arizona takes a 2-1 lead. Quick answer from the Diamondbacks.
Just too fat of a pitch. And Jake Lamb, that was a great shot of him getting on top of that ball and getting the hands in and pulling it, because Vargas tried to bury that cutter in. Paul Goldschmidt getting the green light from Matt Williams. I still don't think I would have had any problem with bases loaded facing Castillo. You know, he's doing well. Castillo is in the last 25 games. Hitting .295, but still. Double play candidate. Vargas got that cutter to avoid the sweet spot, maybe possibly get a grounder.
Well, they elected to pitch to Lamb, and it costs him. A 2-run single for Lamb. RBIs 25 and 26 on the year. Arizona on top now 2-1. Castillo with a hack there to even the count. And we've seen Cesar Vargas will not get rattled. He's had very good poise on the mound, and putting up a couple runs here in the first inning sometimes can be a big deal for a rookie, but really hasn't been for Cesar.
Yeah.
He's been a pretty cool customer during the course of his rookie season in the major leagues.
Yeah, he doesn't get rattled.
Grounder left side to Wallace. He's going to go to second, and they got the out there. Laid at first. And retired is Jake Lamb barely at second base. Ball's not hit hard, and Wallace still elected to get that lead runner. 2 down.
A ball really not hit hard enough to turn 2. Everybody did everything right. Wallace, a nice feed to second base right at the chest of Solarte.
And Jake Lamb on the slide did the right thing too. He went right to the back.
Yep.
So Castillo at first base, held on over there by Will Myers. 2 down in the inning, and here is Brandon Drury. Arizona very excited about Brandon Drury. It's not a great start for him, hitting up over 300 at 301. 8 homers and 17 runs batted in. On the ground to short, Alexei will underhand it to second base to end the inning. Diamondbacks get a pair and take a 2-1 lead.
We got a good group of guys here who can flat out play baseball, and some of them have been through some storms early in the season, haven't gotten off the starts that they'd like to get off to, but kind of returned to form for a lot of these guys. Like, we have a deep belief in who they are as hitters and who they are as players, and I think days like yesterday, when kind of take a collective sigh of relief, take some great swings, and just try to build some momentum on that. And it's a tough pitcher today to do that against, but I think we can do it.
Andy Green on the fact that confidence plays such a huge role in coming back to the ballpark after having quite the offensive show that they did last night, and also talking to Melvin Upton Jr. and Matt Kemp and Will Myers, both crediting this stadium in particular, saying that there's something about the batter's eye, it being so big and so dark that they see the ball so well here. So good to see the guys have such a successful night last night.
It was a good night last night, no doubt about it. And well, you hear a lot of the guys talking about the backdrop here and how great the hitter's eye is. And it is kind of a dark backdrop there. It's perfect, I guess.
You know what's odd is that the big scoreboard above it doesn't come into play. It is so big, but yet hitters don't complain about it because of that backdrop in the batter's eye. I mean, looking at it from a, because here's what we're talking about. We're talking about this area right here. That's the batter's eye. And then you've got this big monstrosity right here. You'd think that may possibly come into play, but that's not the case.
No. He's too high.
Yeah.
Now Brett Wallace batting, one down here in the second inning, and he will take a strike.
Once again, just another advantage for the hitters to, be more offensive. More runs, more home runs. More credit to the hitters.
You're not pitching anymore. It's still an issue. I can tell. He's still. They're going to change the strike zone on you too and bring it up. How about that? What do you think about that? Probably not liking that, are you?
I've said this before. I'm all for an electronic strike zone.
Yeah. But how about bringing it up above the knee now?
I'm not a fan. Not a fan. You see Greinke trying to maybe bury one inside here.
And a 14-pitch first inning. The only blemish, the long home run for Matt Kemp.
I'm still amazed at the adjustment he has made on his delivery with the lower front side with his glove. Remember how high he used to be?
Yep.
But it's like just even with his chin.
Upset with himself with that last delivery.
And you would think after a career and the numbers that he has put up, why he would change that.
Well, it wasn't a good start. That's why, I would guess. I mean, things did not go well. It doesn't take long before guys start to, I don't want to say panic, but at the same time, you got to do something different. And they have changed his delivery. As a result, 19-game winner last year, 19-3. Shift on. And Lamb will throw to first base, 2 down. Let's time now with the tools of the trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks.
So we're going to talk about the Padre hitters yesterday capitalizing on mistakes. Look where the glove is, the green, and then the red. Oh no, getting extended is Matt Kemp with the home run. How about Yangervis Solarte? They want it down to the righty. He's got great plate coverage up and away, sent it on its way. Derek Norris, they want to bury it down and in. That's down the middle of the plate, and you know what that spells? Trouble, and that one is very gone. Deep left center field. It was fun. I love homers.
Yeah, and it was a fun night last night.
We
haven't had many of those.
No.
So it was fun, and the Padres trying to keep it going tonight. Derek Norris last night picking up his 5th home run of the year. Bats with 2 down in the 2nd inning. 5 homers, 10 runs batted in for the Padres catcher. Center fielder Chris Owings over towards right center. Good size gap out in left center. And a big left center field here too.
And he's playing a nice center field. Owings. I've been very happy what he's been doing out there. Generally an infielder.
On the ground to short, Nick Ahmed. Sidearmed and in time. 3 ground ball outs. In order go the Padres, trailing 2-1. As we head to the bottom of the 2nd inning, let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, you ask, you shall receive. Continue the onslaught. We talked about the long ball last night. That was fun to watch. And in order for the Padres to win tonight's ball game, multiple base runners, maybe hit the ball out of the park, and follow Friedrich's footsteps. You know what I'm talking about there, Don. 7 solid innings, only 3 hits, no runs. Hopefully Cesar Vargas can do that, and forget about the bottom half of the 2nd inning where the Diamondbacks answered back with 2 runs after the Padres scored in their top half of the inning.
That's the bottom 3rd of the order coming up here, and there is Christian Friedrich, outstanding last night, got deep into the game and pitched very well. Best outing in a Padres uniform, no doubt. There's Chris Owings, Zach Greinke, and Nick Ahmed scheduled to bat here for the Diamondbacks. Grounder foul. Owings batting at .291 coming in with a home run, 16 runs batted in. I think I have seen all of the variations of the Diamondbacks uniforms, and this may be my favorite. And I don't like a lot of the other ones, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I got to be honest with you. I kind of like the ones last night. The white tops, white pants. But if you're going to go with an alternative costume, I like this top. I'm not going to say I'm crazy about it, but I don't mind it.
The road ones I don't like at all. They're like a charcoal,
it's really
titanium thing. This is to right. Down the line is Kemp, and it's going to fall. Fair ball. Kemp will pick it on a hop, and it's a base hit for Owings to begin the second inning.
Remember, Goldschmidt went the other way off the end of the bat. Owings goes down and gets this one, and off the right-handed bat, it's going to be slicing towards that line. Just fair.
Lead runner on here for Arizona in the second inning, and it'll bring up Zach Greinke.
Guy can swing it a little bit now.
7 for 24, 292, and Chip Hale hits him up in the order, 8th. Yep. Not batting in the 9th spot. He is squaring and pulls it back, takes the strike.
You know he's got a show button and pull back, don't you think?
Yep.
I'm just guessing, you know, he's got it's early, no doubt, but up 2-1. He can handle the bat. Maybe Butcher Boy's got the bottom hand, though, high up on the bat, though. That's an indication he's going to stick with the bunt. And, of course, the Butcher Boy pulling back and then chopping at that ball. The key is to keep it on the ground so he can advance that runner, maybe find a hole with the infield moving around a little bit.
Zach's not sure, so he calls time here, and he wants to talk to his third base coach. Matt Williams coming down here. Now, tonight's game is presented by Sony, the leader of 4K Ultra HD.
Keep an eye on his bottom hand. See where his bottom hand is now? Now, if he slides the upper hand up the bat, keeps the lower hand there, that means, okay, he might pull. No, his bottom hand is moving up now. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah. You wouldn't go that high if you're going to pull it back.
Right.
And then
although
do what you're suggesting.
He probably could make an adjustment and really choke up on that bat, pull back and swing. I think he's going to bunt though.
Down the first baseline, foul. Put there by Myers, who was waiting. He was charging. So it's 1-2. They take the bunt off now. 2 strikes on Greinke.
Well, he's yelling, go over the signs again.
Matt Williams down there in the third base coach's box. Not squaring this time, and he sends one back up the middle into center field. Owings heading to third, and the throw is going to be cut off. First and third, and Greinke swinging the bat. He's got his 8th hit of the year.
Well, back in 2013, Louisville Slugger's Silver Slugger Award is Zach Greinke. He's got that on his mantle. Looked like a curveball. It, in fact, was a curveball, and he takes it right back up the middle. Return to sender, and the grounder to the center fielder makes it a first and third situation for Arizona.
At the corners, nobody out. Nick Ahmed coming up, number 9 man. And at 212, 3 homers, 15 runs batted in. Interesting to see how close Gene Segura is, the on-deck batter. So close to home plate, trying to get a good look at Cesar Vargas. A lot of guys don't like that when the hitter does that.
Oh, yeah. You know who was notorious for that?
Who's that?
Back in the day? Keith Hernandez.
Like to get nice and close, get a good look.
Yep.
The pitchers take exception to that on occasion. He is as close as you can get, though, really. There's a chopper to third, and that'll go foul. Single to begin the inning by Owings down the right field line. Then Greinke is single to center. Hey, Bob Brenly is going to join us in the booth next inning. Forward to that, former world champion Arizona Diamondbacks manager.
Yeah,
Major League catcher.
Stay tuned for that. That guy's a gem right there. One of my favorites in the game. Love that guy.
Really looking forward to it. He's coming in, and you are leaving. You're going over to
Steve Berthiaume,
Fox Sports Arizona.
Yeah.
Showing bunt there and pulling it back is Ahmed.
Oh, it's only May 28th, and you're already sick and tired.
Already had enough. I'm all mudded out. Wings at third, Greinke at first. He was showing bunt. See what he does here. Diamondbacks already on top, 2-1. Swinging away and fouling it off to the right, out of play. Vargas giving him 2 runs in the first. Back-to-back hits here in the second. 4-hit attack so far for Arizona as they bat here in the bottom of the second inning. For the first, and back is Greinke. Off the end of that, fouled the screen, still 2-2. Lunging it, that was Ahmed. The pitches already for Vargas, inning plus.
Yeah, and lunging at that pitch, I think he's got him set up for one of those little cutters on the inside part of the plate, maybe at the front hip, after lunging up and away there.
Infield straightaway, infield double play depth with nobody out, runners at first and third. 2-2. They did run it inside, but missing. Straightened him up, full count. Aaron Balsley, the pitching coach, looking on here. Cesar Vargas getting up 2 in the first and a jam here in the second. On the ground, foul.
You got a little battle going on here. Off balance swings. Ahmed making contact and getting another chance. That was a breaking ball. That was a curveball down and away there.
8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Owings at third, Greinke at first. Vargas ready with a payoff pitch. And that's ball 4, loads the bases. Second walk given up by Cesar Vargas on the night. So 2 hits and a walk. And Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, headed to the mound here to talk to Cesar Vargas.
Well, I talked to Darren before the game and talked about what goes on that mound when a visit is made. Sometimes it's a mechanical issue. Sometimes they'll say, hey, stay on top of the ball. Sometimes they'll say, hey, if the ball's back to you, know exactly what you're going to do with it. He is definitely doing the majority of the talking, and maybe some translating going on there with Cesar Vargas.
Being coached up right now by Solarte, who's stayed a little longer than Darren Balsley did. Gene Segura not great with the bases loaded.
Yeah. I was just about to say, up to 2 strikes, make a good pitch, get a grounder, hopefully a comebacker for the 1-2-3 put out, but up to 2 strikes, then go for the strikeout.
In the dirt outside. Bases filled with Diamondbacks already on top in this game, 2-1. Vargas has been working pretty deliberately tonight. And again, been working with men on base so far in the first 2 innings. Swing and a miss. Fastball that was up, and Segura chased. Seventh start for Vargas, coming in 0-2. 3.34 earned run average. Sprayed foul, 1-2.
Okay, we talk about hot zones, particularly for Gene Segura. You think he likes it up? Look at that, 417 up, middle of the plate, and up and in. He likes to turn on it. And also, how about down? You talk about plate coverage, man. Down the middle, yeah. In, that means he can get his hands in. Down and in, no likey. And he'll chase on the outside part of the plate, that 107 average. Just off the plate.
2-2. This has not been a comfortable outing so far for Cesar Vargas. John Jay over into right center. Big gap out there in left center for Segura. 2-2. And fouled off to the right.
Oh, a little late on the high heat. Now, does he want it there? Derek Norris is set up in. Yes, he does, and he gets it in there nicely.
20 pitches this inning right now for Cesar Vargas. And that's up. So full count, bases loaded, nobody out. Tough spot for Cesar Vargas. Native of Pueblo, Mexico, ready with a 3-2 pitch. Fouled off again to the right, out of play.
A lot of pitches have been up.
You can use a strikeout right here.
Absolutely. When you look at that pitch sequence in the Fox tracks, I think every pitch has been up in the zone with the exception of one. And we showed you the hot zone. He likes it up. Three of the 7 pitches have been down out of the zone.
Payoff pitch. Fouled off again. Cannot put him away. Lengthy at bat for Ahmed. The batter previous to Segura, now in a battle with Segura. 41 pitches deep into his outing. Inning plus right now for Vargas. This crowd coming alive here in Arizona. Fly ball down the right field line. Over goes Kemp to foul ground to dive and make the catch. Turns and fires plateward as Owings will score, and the runners will advance. So a sac fly for Segura down the right field line. Picks up his 24th RBI of the year, and Arizona takes a 3-1 lead.
Matt Kemp has been doing a lot of running out there early on in right field. Those 2 balls down the line, one by Goldschmidt. Had one down there by Jake Lamb, and this one just reaches with the big glove that he can have out there in the outfield, catches it in the webbing, and gets it in as quickly as he can. And no chance of getting that runner tagging at third base.
One out now in the second inning. Michael Bourne, the batter, infield in all the way around now for the Padres. And the high strike call. 6 for 8. Runners in scoring position this year for Bourne. His first plate appearance against Cesar Vargas. Walked in the first inning and scored. He jumps back out of the way of a pitch in the dirt. Frankie at third, Ahmed at second. Still only one out here in the Arizona second inning. Two and one.
A lot of falling behind.
7 pitches in the inning for Cesar Vargas. Fouled back.
Another pitch up. You know, pitching up in the zone is fine if you're down, bang, up, down, up, bang. Surprise a guy? But if you're consistently up there, you know, sometimes, granted, the pitch is up too far to where you can't get up on top of it, you get a lot of foul balls, but still.
Can't live up there.
No, not unless you're Jim Palmer and Jim DeShays. 2 guys that like to pitch up in the zone.
Line with the infield into center field. 1 run is in, and Greinke, Ahmed's going to try and score. It's cut off. He does. And the Diamondbacks have taken a 5-run lead. Michael Bourne, who's been great with runners in scoring position, delivers a pair here. And Arizona on top 5-1.
Don, you said it. Hey, pitching up, but once in a while, you leave that one that's just down a little bit. And that was a cutter that just did not break. Stayed up, and Michael Bourne, after seeing it a handful of pitches up, he was right on it. Stayed on it nicely.
So Bourne at first, and still only 1 out. Always a threat to steal. Imagine Chip Hill will elect to keep the pressure on here if you're the Diamondbacks. Paul Goldschmidt, the batter. Quick check on Bourne. Try to keep him as close as possible at first base. There's already action for the Padres in the pen right now. Vargas continuing to struggle here. Just an inning and a third so far. And a check on Bourne.
Oh, Michael Bourne with 2 stolen bases on the year. Diamondbacks are 3rd in the National League in that category. I think Vargas might be smelling something. Outfield once again playing deep, center and right, as Luis Perdomo starts to heat up in the pen for San Diego. Melvin Upton Jr. more on the shallow side, or regular left field, I should say.
That is up 90 miles an hour and out of the zone, high to Goldschmidt.
And first pitch strikes tonight for Vargas, 4 of 12. It's no fun pitching behind in the count.
Deep left. Stays fair. It's gone. It's fair. And it's gone. Paul Goldschmidt hits his 9th home run of the year. It's a 2-run shot. And Arizona has jumped out to a 7-1 lead.
As I mentioned last night, it's only a matter of time before Paul Goldschmidt busts out and start making some noise from the dish. And too many times when you hang a cutter like that to Paul Goldschmidt, look at him, he's just so strong. Let's get his hands in there. Some serious topspin on that one as well.
Jake Lamb still only 1 out in the inning. And a pitch for a strike over the inside corner. This has not been Cesar Vargas' night tonight so far.
He just hasn't made an adjustment. Up, up, up.
Lamb riding a 7-game hitting streak coming in. Hitting at 400 during the streak. Paul Goldschmidt with his 9th home run of the year. Did he go? Yes, he did, says Brian Knight, third base umpire. And for Goldschmidt, his first home run in the last 10 games. It's been a 5-run second inning so far for Arizona. 1-2. Shoots it foul. Back into the seats. Well, since 2013, Paul Goldschmidt, look at his ranks at the top or near the top. Actually, every offensive category in the National League.
And when this kid came up to the big leagues, Paul Goldschmidt, offensive categories just went up and up every year. I mean, that's very impressive. You know, usually you're going to have a year where the pitchers will own you because they're going to make an adjustment. But Paul Goldschmidt's the one who's making adjustments. Seems like every offensive category has just gone up and up and up, or stayed pretty much even during the course of his career.
Vargas has battled as best he could, but having trouble putting guys away right now.
2011 was when he first came up to the big leagues, Goldschmidt. 48 games, he hit 250, but every year after that, 286, 302, 300, and then last year, of course, 321.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up for Jake Lamb. The starting pitching has been so good for the Padres. This one fouled off to the left. Rare to see a start like this. Seven runs, 6 hits, no errors for Arizona. A run, 1 hit, no errors for the Padres. Sprayed foul to the screen. Tenth pitch of the at-bat coming up. Three-two. And it's dribbled foul. 41 pitches so far this inning for Darren Balsley's starter.
That's a workload. That is a workload.
Payoff pitch again. On the ground, back to Vargas. He will toss to first for out number 2.
Follow Padres baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
Well, that is going to do it for Cesar Vargas. By far his toughest outing in a Padres uniform. Arizona with a 7-1 lead.
Has levitated some pitches against these Diamondbacks. Look at this one right here. On contact to Jake Lamb, belt buckle or higher. There, Michael Bourne, belt buckle or higher. Talk about higher. The big kid, Paul Goldschmidt, getting on top of that cutter and sending it out of the yard. Rough night for Cesar Vargas. Just did not make an adjustment with his pitches down in the zone.
Now 2 down. Bases empty. Wellington Castillo the batter, and the pitch for a strike. The pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford. Luis Perdomo into the game.
He's got to treat this like a start. Don't you think?
Yes.
He might be out there for 4 innings. If he pitches well, throws a few pitches, he might be out there for 5, maybe 6. Who knows?
Already seen him for 5. Of course, it was last weekend against the Dodgers in the 17-inning game that he logged 5 innings. So here he is on a Saturday night coming into the 2nd inning for the Padres. And Castillo fooled on the pitch with a swing and a miss.
You know, it kind of stinks. Well, it doesn't kind of. It does stink. It's like as a starting pitcher, you get taken out of the game before you get your first at bat.
It's not good.
That's not fun.
No. .61 total pitches in the game for Vargas. Inning and 2/3 his outing, and Perdomo strikes out Castillo. Bob Brenly will be with us when we come back. Arizona's got a 7-1 lead. You've been traded here in the middle of a game in the 3rd inning as we play along. Jack Greinke back on the mound, and Alexei Ramirez stands in and takes a strike. Well, for the Diamondbacks, it's kind of been like this. It seems a little inconsistent. Very good at times, not so good at other times. And right now, did it offensively tonight.
Yeah, I mean, things just haven't meshed well, Don. Occasionally, we've gotten good starting pitching. Guys get into the 6th, 7th, 8th inning with the lead. But on the days we pitch well, we don't score many runs. The one constant we had last season was defense. The team could make all the plays. They rarely put themselves in a hole because of bad defense. But we've seen some of that this year. It's just been inconsistent. That's the best word you can use to describe the Diamondbacks.
Well, Lamb with a nice play there to get rid of it in a hurry. Ball was in the air for a very long time in the chopper, and he's able to get Alexei Ramirez at first base. 5-3 on the put out, and it's a good sign for Greinke because he's got a total of 6 ground ball outs in this game.
Yeah, he's really turned it around his last 5 or 6 starts. He has been the guy we expected him to be. Hitting his spots with all of his pitches, especially the fastball, because that sets up the changeup, the slider, the curve. It sets everything up for him when he's spotting his fastball well.
Now Perdomo in the pitcher's spot hits a 2-hopper out to Segura, throws him out. 4-3 on the put out. Well, the improvement for Greinke, you can see it in the numbers, no doubt, as he has definitely improved over the last 3 or 4 outings. And look at the first 5 and the last 5.
Yeah, the ERA almost 3 full runs lower. I mean, he's the guy we expected him to be now. You know, he beat us so many times pitching for the Dodgers over the last few years. It's kind of nice to see him on the mound wearing the Sedona red.
I imagine it was a good amount of pressure for him starting here with everything that was written about him, said about him after he was signed here by the Diamondbacks.
No question about it. I mean, he doesn't mince words. He's going to go where the money is. And the Diamondbacks were kind of a surprise entrant into the Greinke sweepstakes, but they got in at the right time and got a deal done quickly. He said he always liked what he saw from the Diamondbacks from the other side of the field, the way the guys played the game and ran out every ground ball, and that solid defense I was talking about a minute ago.
John Jay batting here with 2 down. Padres have work to do, trailing 7-1 in this game as they bat in the 3rd inning. Bob Brenly joining us. And Green enjoyed last night, not enjoying tonight quite as much. Jay will spray it foul off to the left. Gene Segura, another good pickup for the Arizona Diamondbacks as well. It's been great.
I want to ask you, what's that around your neck right there?
That would be my tie. You have a pointer too, or do they let you borrow muds? They let you borrow muds.
Mud let me borrow it. Yeah. He said you would appreciate it.
I had a feeling. The ground ball to short. Ahmed's got it. And that will end the inning. Well, I changed partners, but we still got the pointer. How does this happen? 7-1. As we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning back here in Arizona, Bob Brenly is along with us, and I wanted to ask you about the World Series in '01. I mean, to me, it was one of the great World Series, certainly for the country and everything that was going on at that time, and seeing President Bush throw a strike at Yankee Stadium, to see him on the mound at Yankee Stadium, and you were really the first guy to see him after that. I remember seeing the video and seeing that had to be a very powerful, moving moment.
Well, it really was. I mean, I still get goosebumps just thinking about that particular moment. The President of the United States standing tall on the mound out there in the middle of everything, kind of sending a statement that you know, we're going to go on with our lives. We're going to do the things we do as Americans, and I've said it many times, I've never been prouder to be part of baseball than I was then. You know, we take it very seriously, obviously, when we're in the business, but yeah, the reality is it's just a game. It's a distraction, and the people of the United States needed a distraction at that particular time.
Here is Brandon Drury to lead it off, and he'll take a pitch down and in.
You know, one thing I discovered, though, Don, everybody was saying, well, everybody was rooting for the Yankees, but we found that wasn't the case. There were a lot of Mets fans that were rooting for the Diamondbacks, a lot of Red Sox fans that were rooting for the Diamondbacks. So everything played out the way it had to. The home team won every game in that series, and the Yankees in dramatic fashion, the 3 games that they won there in New York. But of course, I'm a little biased, but I just thought it was a tremendous series, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it sure was. It was tremendous and a lot of fun, no doubt about it. One that will live forever. As Luis Perdomo out here on the mound earlier than he would have expected tonight. How often does that team get together from time to time here in Arizona?
Yeah, they have events here at the ballpark to celebrate the anniversary, just about every year, the 13th anniversary, the 14th anniversary. But,
why not?
A lot of the guys still live here in the Valley, and some of the guys are affiliated with the ball club. So, yeah, we see each other around quite a bit.
Drury strikes out. Well, there's a guy still around, no doubt about it, and I'm sure around the ballpark quite a bit.
Yeah, that was a line drive into center field. That's the way you have to describe it.
In the box score. That's a happy Bob Brenly coming out of the dugout.
I'll tell you, there's no way to anticipate your reaction when something like that happens. You think about winning and what would I do if we actually win, but when it happens, it's just, you're like a little leaguer all over again. You have no idea what to do. Just run and look for somebody to hug. It was just tremendous.
One down here in the third inning. 2001 world champion Arizona Diamondbacks.
I mean, it was especially significant since it was against the Yankees. They were on such a dominant run at that particular time. I don't think anybody thought the Yankees were going to get beat.
Retired is owing 6-3. The other thing I want to know about from you is Mark Grant, I understand you caught his first major league debut. Is this true?
Cincinnati Riverfront Stadium. Mudd actually pitched really well that day. I think he went about 6 innings, gave up 4 hits. Unfortunately, 2 of them were 2-run homers.
Okay.
Danny Dreesen and I believe it was Dwayne Walker, the other guy that got him for a couple of 2-run homers. And he fared very well for himself first time out.
Would you say he's changed at all?
Nah, not much. Probably doesn't throw as hard now as he used to.
4-3 on the put up. Bob Brenly, thanks very much for coming by.
Don, thank you. It was a pleasure.
See you. 7-1 Diamondbacks. The Padres. I learned so much in that inning. That was tremendous.
Bob Brenly is just a wealth of knowledge, isn't he?
He is. I learned so much about baseball, the game. Unbelievable. What an analyst.
What did you learn? Tell me.
I learned, well, actually, in all honesty, I learned about you. We talked about you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I don't know why we had to do that, but he was talking about your major league debut.
And we were talking about that over there. Steve Bertune brought it up.
We talked about the World Series here in 01 and how great it was. And was talking about the president throwing out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium. Yeah. He was the first guy to greet him afterwards, which was really cool.
In all seriousness, this game of baseball is great, and I've been blessed to play it, and I know you are too, as far as being an announcer.
Yep.
And the money comes and goes. I never made big money. I was lucky enough to wear a uniform. And the thing, and I've told people this all the time, things that last for me are the friendships. And Bob Brenly, he's one of my closest friends in the game. And when you have somebody you can confide in and talk to, there's been times I've called him during the offseason and asked for advice. Dwayne Kuiper, Mike Krukow, the same thing. We were all teammates with the Giants. And for that guy there to take me under his wing and just, you know, give me more than the time of day. Yeah. As a 20-year-old, that really tells you something about him.
He's a good man.
Yeah, he is.
And a very good manager, too. There's a ground ball into the shift off the bat of Myers. Ahmed gets it there in time for the first out.
Now, and you know what? I went over with Steve Berthiaume, and all of a sudden I'm like, here he breaks out the.
Oh, tell me he went to the boiler.
He goes, what's that?
Tell me he went to the boiler.
I go, that's my tie. And then he goes,
go to the boiler.
And he goes,
go to the boiler.
What's that? I go, that's a boiler.
You know, that's the funny part about this. You're not in great shape either. That's awesome.
That was great.
Thank you, Steve.
They set it up
well
nicely.
Done. Well done.
You guys are the best.
That is awesome. Nicely done. Finally, somebody said it. One out here in the fourth.
See, over there with Steve, I look fat. Over here, I look thin.
Okay. That'll bounce in. You guys got along really well up here. Look at this. Wow. Really? Huh.
I want to know where my polo was.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
You're a little overdressed for Fox Sports Arizona.
I'm a big fan. How lucky are those guys?
1-1 on the ground to third. Jake Lamb gobbles it up. And Matt Kemp out number 2 here, the 4th inning. About 10 ground ball outs for Zach Greinke in 3 2/3 innings. The other out is a strikeout.
Well, he's got a high 3/4 delivery, so when he really is throwing the ball well, he's getting that downward plane. And I think sometimes when his stride gets too long, he doesn't get that. Shorter stride enables you to get up on top and work downhill. If you really get extended, it's tough to stay up on top, and you work underneath the ball and kind of push it a little bit.
Well, this is the Zach Greinke I remember.
Yep.
And he has been dazzling so far. The only blemish, the home run by Matt Kemp in the 1st inning.
You see, he goes from the first base side of that pitching plate, so he can get that angle down and into the lefties. You know what else Greinke's huge on? In the shift meetings, when they're talking defense, he's in on the meetings.
As he should be.
Absolutely. And he's one that will be on that mound, and he'll kind of direct guys and say, hey, I want you over 2 steps to your right. I want you over 2 steps to your left. Look at that movement on that pitch. Look like a changeup, maybe.
On Hervis Solarte grounding out to second base. Good look at Chase Field here in Arizona. Roof open for the 2nd straight night. Gonna be on the warm side tomorrow. Chances pretty good that we will have a closed roof tomorrow. And the finale of this series, day baseball, for the Padres head to their 3rd city in this 3-city tour, heading to Seattle. Tonight's cold hard facts are brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Zach Greinke and the starting staff of the Arizona Diamondbacks for the most part not pitching well at home. 5.66 earned run average. Now Colorado, you can understand. Their home ballpark, of course, Field. This is driven down the right field line, but it's going to go foul. Solarte out ahead of that.
All starts with the starting pitching. And quite frankly, I think that this guy is a pitcher that you really shouldn't worry about after the start that he had. I just got that feeling that he's going to go back to what he's used to doing.
We were talking about it with Bob Brenly. You know, you think about all the pressure that he had on him coming here. Anytime you're signed as a free agent, big money, big deal, you know, you put a lot of pressure on yourself. And it seems he may have done that early. There's a fly ball to left, and Drury is out there waiting. He'll put it away. Padres down in order. In fact, 10 in a row retired by Greinke. Arizona on top 7-1. All right, Mike, thanks very much. As the Diamondbacks come to bat here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Nick Ahmed leading it off. Luis Perdomo back on the mound. Since Perdomo has come into the game, he has retired all 4 Diamondbacks that he has faced. 2 by way of the K. Strike over the outside corner to Nick Ahmed. All 7 runs charged to Cesar Vargas, who went an inning and 2/3, 6 hits, 7 runs, 2 walks, and a K. Ahmed chases that and strikes out. So the first out here of the 4th is the 3rd strikeout of the night for Perdomo. Time out for graded coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Chase Utley in that game that you just saw highlights of went 2 for 5, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs in the Dodgers 9-1 win at the Mets. Buster Posey starting to pick it up. He had been struggling, but then again picked it up in the series against the Padres. He keeps it going. 2 home runs. Ground ball foul outside of 3rd. Who did I miss? Did you see?
Brett Eibner?
Yes, I missed Brett. Walk
Royals,
RBI
yeah.
single.
Yep.
7-run 9th inning. That's pretty good.
7-run 9th. That's
good.
an ouch. Right?
Yeah. That hurts. Gene Segura. Look out.
Boy, that happened last.
Got him. Well, he got him on the helmet, according to home plate umpire Todd Tichenor.
That happened last night with Nick Ahmed with Perdomo. Remember, one got away from him?
Yep.
Wants it down and away, and that one leaks, and kind of tough to tell if that hit the helmet, did it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, it grazed. I didn't see the ball change direction. Very tough to see. Oh, that doesn't even look close, does it? Didn't even hit him.
No.
Did a good acting job. Well, they can challenge that, I think, and Andy Green's going out to talk to the home plate umpire, Todd Tichenor.
They're going to challenge it.
Earmuffs. Look at him looking at his helmet.
See if he can find the scuff mark.
Hey, let me first and foremost say, I don't like the ball. I don't care who it is, up and around the head.
Yep.
That's nasty. But from that second angle, it didn't even look like it was close. I take that back. It was close, but there was plenty of space between the ball and the helmet.
Well, he was pointing to the scuff mark on the top of his helmet to Will Myers, but we'll see what the umpires think. See if we get a better look at this.
That didn't hit him.
Didn't change direction. I wonder if it hit the bat.
Foul ball.
Might have hit the bat, not the helmet. From that look. Looked like it changed direction on the bat, not the helmet. I don't know. We'll see. Helmet.
That hit the bat. It hit the handle of the bat. Did you see it change direction, then into the glove of Norris?
Yep.
Yep. That did not hit the helmet.
Again, the call on the field, hit batter. And the indication by home plate umpire Todd Tichenor was that it was on the helmet.
See, to me, that's definitive. Because the helmet doesn't move, the ball doesn't change direction until it hits that handle of the bat.
Yep.
Clearly.
Coming up on 2 minutes here.
Yeah, and they want to get rid of the intentional walk. Right? Really?
Yep.
What's an intentional walk take? 20 seconds? 25 seconds tops? This is what's slowing down the game.
This is not helping. I'll agree with you.
You know what? If they don't get this one right, I'll be really upset.
Calm down.
No, seriously, what do you think? How can they?
Well, my only thinking is on this call on the field is that he was hit by the pitch. Now they're looking for conclusive evidence that he was not, that it didn't graze that on the way by, and they may not find it. So he might be upset. He might be upset, Mark Grant. You might have to calm down.
And I'll have to live with it. I'll be fine.
I'm just saying. You know how that works?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, they made a call. Now they need to know absolutely 100% that it didn't hit his helmet for them to overturn. And they're struggling with that right now. We're coming up on 3 minutes here at 2:55, 2:56. This will be 3 minutes here in a second. It's 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Longer reviews we've had.
Maybe the lines are jammed. They're just getting flooded.
Having trouble getting through to New York. I think they're talking to New York. I'm fairly confident they are talking to New York.
I think I just saw one of the umpires ask for the fleece pullover. Along with the subscription. What? Oh. Do I get the extra month in that subscription? Okay. All right, good. I'm in.
Done deal.
Oh, he's back.
They're bringing him back. And it's a foul tip and went off the bat. So not only is he not hit by the pitch, but it's going to be a strike.
And you know what? I think he should be given a red card because just like a soccer player, he took a flop.
A red card.
Out of the game. Red card. Gone. He flopped. He didn't get hit. He flopped. He should be ejected from the game.
They're making up rules. You know there's no red card in baseball, right? Yeah. 1 out, 1 on. No, he's not on. He's off. There's nobody on. Yeah, he's back, and he's down on the count. 0-2. Now ground ball to first base. Myers will run to the bag in a hurry, and he's there in time to get Segura. So 3 unassisted on the putout, 2 down in the inning.
See if he gets it from his teammates on the bench about that acting job.
So 2 away, Michael Bourne, the batter. You had the trainer check on him, make sure that he was okay. The reason he was okay is that it never hit him. Bourne has walked and singled, scored twice. Seven runs, 6 hits, no errors for Arizona. Run, a hit, no errors for the Padres.
That's like in football. You know how they like fake injuries so you get they stop the clock, right?
Yeah.
There's penalties for that.
Yeah.
See, the thing about baseball is you really can't penalize.
So I think they should go with your rules and add a red card system. Ground ball foul. Imagine the umpire running out and showing him the red card. That's it.
Just trying to think how there would be there's already 2 strikes on him. Call him out
for flopping.
Yeah.
Line to right. Kemp on the move. It's going to get in. Michael Bourne is on for the 3rd time tonight. Walk and now 2 singles in the game.
Well, if there's one thing I've noticed about Michael Bourne, if you throw him a soft breaking ball in the zone, it's going to speed up his bat. It sounded like he was kind of out in front of it a little bit because it was off the end of the bat. There's the breaking ball from Perdomo. Yeah, a little bit too quick off the end of the bat. If you're going to throw that breaking ball, you have to bounce it. Trust your catcher to smother it. Here comes the big boy.
Paul Goldschmidt with a home run his last time up. It already doubled in the first, so 2 extra base hits in the game. Scored 2 runs. There goes Bourne at first, and the throw down is going to be not in time. Stolen base for Michael Bourne. Still got great speed.
Pretty good jump, high leg kick from Perdomo, and in this ballpark it's early. It's only the bottom of the 4th. You're going to try to add on, almost like in Colorado. Will Myers holding on Michael Bourne. That's paint. Off the plate a little bit, but good, firm, two-seam fastball away.
Home run for Goldschmidt. He is 9th of the year. Lines one, caught at first base by Will Myers. Nice catch. Hot shot. Myers lunging to his left and towards the line to reel it in. Ends the 4th inning. Nicely done by Will Myers.
Field, everyone. Chase Field, the only MLB stadium to have not only a pool, but a hot tub as well in the outfield. This is the spot you want to catch a game, people. These tickets, there are 65 of them available. They are the first things to sell out preseason here for the Diamondbacks, and for good reason. You see a ton of action out here since the first home run ball entered the splash zone right in the pool in 1998. 52 home run balls have entered the pool area, most notably by Padres hitters Tony Gwynn in 1999 and Scott Hairston in 2008. So, gentlemen, I hope you brought your floaties. Did you bring them? There's a lifeguard on duty here, too, if you get scared.
I would love to see mud and floaties. That would be outstanding. I got to tell you something. I think every ballpark in the big league should have a pool.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Very popular place at this ballpark. You bet. There's the lifeguard.
Make sure everything's all right.
Hey, first pitch from Greinke was up and in.
I saw that.
See the umpire? Todd Tishner came out.
He didn't warn anybody, but he did take it. He thought about it.
Yeah.
First pitch of the inning from Greinke, who has been incredibly good with his control.
Well, it just brings me back memories of Zach Greinke when he was with the Dodgers. He and Carlos Quentin.
Yeah.
Getting into a little scrum.
Fractured his collarbone.
Yes, he did.
1-2 pitch. And Upton takes that away.
First person to make it a wet one out there in the pool and homer was Mark Grace. Was the Diamondbacks when he was back with the Diamondbacks. Actually, he was with the Cubs. I stand corrected. He was with the Cubs, and then later on became a Diamondback.
Out towards right center field. Bourne on the run, and that's going to get in. Splits the outfielders, and Upton will head to second base. Got himself a leadoff double. That breaks up a string of 10 in a row retired by Zach Greinke. And the second Padres hit of the night is a double for Melvin Upton Jr.
Well, when Melvin Upton Jr. is swinging the bat well, let's check out the pitch. Is it a breaking ball? A little slider down and away, and he goes down and gets it. Well, that's a lot of upper body there. And still, that ball travels a long way, splits the gap. Well, the Padres got a lot of chipping away to do, down 7-1.
A good start to this 5th inning, and Brett Wallace coming up. Wallace grounded out to third base in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1.
Hey, a lot of chipping away to do, but you never know. The leads here can change in a heartbeat.
Left off the backside has Upton back to the bag at second base. Wrap foul here by Brett Wallace. Brad Hand up now in the Padres pen. 2 1/3 innings for Perdomo. After Vargas went an inning and 2/3 to start this game, and has been charged with all 7 Arizona runs. Strike called. Wallace thought it was inside, was kind of moving back as that pitch was coming in, and it's 0-2.
Hey, legitimate strike. Fox Tracks, brought to you by Southland Technology, indicates that was most certainly a strike, up and in.
Nice view from the front row sports grill out there in left field and beyond. A lot of stuff going on here visually. We saw the pool area. You got the front row sports grill out there on left.
You know how you mentioned every ballpark should have a pool?
Yeah.
I remember growing up going to Old Comiskey Park in Chicago. Bill Veeck put the shower out in center field. It was a big old one of those sunflower type showers. You pull the chain. Hot, humid day in Chicago. Oh, you just go out there, you pull the chain, you
take a shower.
Yeah. Cool off.
Did you have a chance to pitch in Old Comiskey?
I didn't. I love that ball yard. I love that park.
A double by Upton to begin this inning. Broke up a string of 10 in a row, retired by Zach Greinke.
If you could fight your way back to get into slam range. We're in the middle of the game here in the 5th, but a good pitch.
Strikes out Wallace with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. That was a good moving fastball. The second strikeout for Zach Greinke of the night.
Well, Greinke knows that if Brett Wallace can get extended, he's seen him put the ball out of the ballpark and also go the other way, but still he buries that one in. Brett does not get extended, and the swing and a miss for the K.
So 1 out. Upton at second base. Derek Norris coming up. Padres catcher grounded out shortstop in the 2nd inning. Blocked by Castillo. No advance for Upton at second base. Well, not a huge strikeout night for Greinke. Getting it done.
I've got only 2. Is that correct?
That's correct. Got Myers in the 1st.
Yeah.
Just got Wallace here in the 5th. Well, I think he does have a lot of those ground ball outs.
Yeah, and he's not overpowering. He's not 96, 98. He's 93-ish. But the movement down, especially if he keeps it down to the zone, you're going to top that baseball. It's tough to elevate the ball on the line or out of the park.
There's 10 ground ball outs in 4 1/3 innings. It's been only 1 fly ball out, and that was Solarte to left field in the 4th inning. Of course, he had 1 fly ball that went completely out of the ballpark, and that was Matt Kemp back in the 1st inning with his home run. Only blemish so far in this game for Zach Greinke. He's falling behind Norris, 2-0. Bat goes flying in behind the dugout for the Diamondbacks. Ball goes foul to the right. But the youngster is okay. He's doing all right.
Yeah.
Got himself a new bat. Derek Norris's bat with 1 out here in the 5th inning. Norris reaches out. It's a fly ball to deep left field. Drury going back onto the track to make the catch. Right in front of the wall. Tagging and heading to 3rd is Upton. He'll get there. With now 2 down, Norris gives it a ride, but he's out number 2.
I thought he had it off the bat. There's a slider. Derek had to go down and get it, but you know what? All it takes is just a little bit out in front, a little bit getting underneath it. Warning track power on that one.
So 2 down here in the 5th inning brings up Alexei Ramirez. Wellington Castillo went out to talk to Zach Greinke.
Well, the arsenal of Zach Greinke, heavy on the fastball. Remember, he'll cut it. Curveball very few times. Mostly fastball and slider tonight. I think if you could locate, you can get away with 2 pitches.
Really, as a starter.
Rick Russell, perfect example. He was a sinker slider guy, but he could dice and slice that play. Remember Rick Russell?
I do.
Big Daddy? He would throw that 2-seamer, get some grounders, some swings and misses. I mean, heavy sinker. And then he'd flip that slider down and away, grounder out front. So if you can locate and work down consistently, I believe there are guys out there who could be a 2-pitch pitcher and succeed.
Most of your guys, starting pitchers, oh, you got to have 3 pitches.
Right.
You need more. A guy that they make a reliever that move into the starting rotation. Hector Sanchez has come out on deck here to bat in Luis Perdomo's spot. There's a fly ball to left field, and Drury back there again, this time with more room. Makes the catch. That ends the inning. Padres leave Upton at 3rd and trail 7-1. Padres baseball brought to you by Sequan Casino. Sign up for the new Padres club card today. By RCP Block and Brick. Start your outdoor project at rcpblock.com. And by Mercury Insurance. We're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today. Back at Chase Field in Arizona, where the Diamondbacks scored early and often. 2 in the first, 5 in the second. And Arizona on top of this game 7-1 as they come to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, and it's Luis Perdomo to be that tourniquet to stop the bleeding, and he's done very, very well in the short time that he's been out there in relief.
If his spot in the order had come up, he'd be out of this game because Hector Sanchez had come out on deck to bat for him, but fly out to left by Alexei Ramirez ended the inning, so more Luis Perdomo. A little slip there at the end of that last delivery, so he goes to work on the landing area. Jake Lamb leading it off here for the Diamondbacks. Wellington Castillo and Brandon Drury.
Nice combio right there. I think that's really going to help Perdomo. Now, last half inning, we were talking about 2-pitch pitchers. Luis Perdomo, I think that pitch will definitely help him because he really can't locate as well as he'd like to early on with his fastball and his breaking ball consistently. Another one. That's a nice little pitch.
It's got him ahead here, 1-2. Jake Lamb tonight is 1 for 2 and a 2-run single in the first inning. That time he bounces it. And it's time now to check out our Cholula flamethrower.
Well, Luis Perdomo, he's got a live arm. Oh, 95. Oh.
That's hot.
Water. Whew. Hot, like hot today. You could fry an egg out there on the freeway.
Full count.
How's Eddie Ortega doing?
Foul up to the left.
How's Eddie? Eddie and Carlos. Maybe we can check in on those guys. Our amigos over there. There they are.
There they are.
Hey, Eduardo. Cuidado. Cuidado, Carlos. How are you feeling?
3-2 pitches outside. Ball 4 and a leadoff walk for Jake Lamb. This is the first walk allowed by Perdomo in his outing.
When Perdomo's up and away like that, that means he's flying open with his front side. That shoulder, the hip. Arm's not catching up, not getting out in front. Hence the high fastball up and away to the left-handed hitter.
Lead runner on here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Wellington Castillo coming up. The outfield set up straight away here for the Padres on Wellington Castillo. It's 0 for 2. He has started the first 2 games of this series doing the catching. Norris has caught the first 2 games of the Padres. Likely to see different catchers the day game after the night game tomorrow. Well, Perdomo's been in the game since the 2nd inning. Vargas chased after an inning and 2/3 tonight. 7 runs, 6 hits. Walked 2, struck out a batter on the hook. Came into this game individually 0-2. That's outside for ball 2. Perdomo's done a great job in this role. Time to time, we mentioned the 5-inning effort that he had last Sunday against the Dodgers in that 17-inning game. Brad Hand, another guy who has logged some long outings out of the pen. There's a swing and a miss, 2-2.
And part of the success, I think, is being a pitcher that accepts that role. Hey, the way I look at it, as long as you have that big league uniform on and you're not a stud as a starter and you're not the closer, hey, any way you can help out, you better accept it.
On the ground up the middle, and that'll find its way into center field. Lamb's headed for 3rd, and he'll get there. Good 1st to 3rd running there. He was not hesitating at all. And right now the Diamondbacks have runners at the corners with nobody out in the last of the 5th inning.
Well, breaking ball, you can see how far in front Castillo was on that one, but many times Mark Sweeney talks about using that big part of the field, and when you stay on a breaking ball or maybe out in front of it a little bit, just taking it that way, and that time it works to the advantage for Castillo.
1st and 3rd, nobody out, and it brings up Brandon Drury. Drury grounded into a fielder's choice in the 1st, struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. Diamondbacks trying to add on to what is already a 7-1 lead. 2 in the 1st, 5 in the 2nd. Look out, breaking ball got away, and from 3rd here comes Lamb. He'll score the 8th Arizona run of the night. Diamondbacks take an 8-1 lead on a wild pitch.
Don, you mentioned it. Breaking ball that got away from Perdomo. Just didn't get out in front of that curveball. And when you're a catcher, anticipating that pitch down and away, yeah, coming up out of the crouch and reaching on the other side of the map, that's tough to grab.
Drury will foul it off over by the on-deck circle. A walk and then a single to start this inning, but a wild pitch. Leads to the 8th Arizona run. Diamondbacks on top now, 8-1. Wellington Castillo took second base on that wild pitch, so he's now in scoring position with nobody out here in the inning. .43 pitches for Perdomo since coming into this game.
Of the two young guys, this Diamondback team, as Darren Balsley's on the phone, I really like this kid Drury and Herman.
Yes.
Two young guys.
I think the versatility of Herman has been huge too so far for Chip Hale, being able to move him around. Ooh. Perdomo wanted that, didn't get it, and it's ball 4. Down to first goes Drury. Second walk of the inning for Perdomo, second walk of his outing. Andy Green is going to make a double switch with a pitcher spot. Scheduled to bat in the top of the 6th inning. He's going to switch it up here, and it's like Amarista is coming to the game for Alexei Ramirez at shortstop, and looks like Brad Hand will be coming in from the pen. So a pitching change here and a double switch from Arizona. Diamondbacks on top 8-1. Arizona 8-1. The Diamondbacks on top of the Padres. We're in the midst of the bottom of the 5th inning. And some news out of El Paso. Alex Dickerson, who's been up a couple of times already this year with the Padres, he's got himself a 26-game hitting streak going. 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI tonight, part of a 7-2 win at Omaha.
Nice to see the Poway Titan having a nice little streak down there in AAA, as Brad Hand now will try to stop the bleeding here. He inherits 2 runners, trying to keep it at 1 run for these D-backs.
2 on, nobody out. There's Perdomo responsible for the 2 men on. Alexei Amarista takes over at shortstop now for the Padres. Part of the double switch. He'll lead it off next inning. There's a strike over the outside corner. That is Wellington Castillo at second, Brandon Drury at first, with nobody out here in the Arizona 5th inning. On the ground, foul. Almost hit Matt Williams in the thereabouts region of the third base coach's box. Not quite in it, nor is every third base coach. Of course, wearing helmets now across Major League Baseball. It's been a while now.
Yep, and doing some instruction. Hey, don't get caught on the line drive. Let the line drive go through. You don't want to get doubled up at second base.
So Brad Hand into the game. Third pitcher used by Andy Green. Well, it's hitting at just 209 against Brad Hand so far in the year. He went a long time in a ball game earlier this year at Milwaukee. 4 scoreless innings. Been the second longest relief outing for him in his career. 1-2 pitch. And a number in front of the plate. Norris will jump out. Throws to first in time to get Owings for the first out here, the 5th. Runners move along. Castillo to third. Furry to second with 1 down.
Follow Padres baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video, highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
Second and third with 1 out, a run in, and the infield in now for the Padres all the way around. And the Diamondbacks pitcher Zach Greinke, who already has a hit in this game. He singled and scored in the second inning, part of that 5-run second inning for Arizona. A little bit low. Perdomo responsible for the runners at second and third currently for Arizona. The departed pitcher went 2 1/3, 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. That's a strike, and it's a ball and a strike. Staying down here so far to Greinke. That base hit he got back in the second inning, his 8th hit of the year. Now 8 for 26 on the season at the plate. Batting out of the 8th spot for the Diamondbacks.
Yes, he did.
They're going to check. Yes, he did.
Did you see Greinke? He wanted him to check.
Wanted him to check. He was so sure that he didn't go. But he did, said Bill Miller, the crew chief and first base umpire. We'll get a look. I don't know.
Oh, you don't know. Come on, he went.
I don't know.
Really?
I'm not for sure. 1-2. That's on the outside corner for strike 3. Greinke takes with him the first strikeout for Brad Hand. 2 down here in the 5th. Nick Ahmed coming up. Walked and scored in the second. Struck out swinging in the 4th inning. Second and third for the Diamondbacks. A run already in. Arizona upping their lead this inning to 8-1. On the ground, foul outside of third. Right-handers at 271 against Brad Hand. Lefties, as you might imagine, not quite as good. Just a 132 average. And that is strike 2. That's got good velocity. 94 on that last fastball. Swinging a foul tip for strike 3, held on to by Derek Norris. Arizona adds a run. Diamondbacks have an 8-1 lead. Of the Harris game summary and Matt Kemp with the Padres offense. A home run in the first inning off Zach Greinke, his 12th home run of the year. Gave San Diego a 1-0 lead. In that game, the Diamondbacks, they would score twice in the first and 5 times in the second inning. Pretty impressive showing as they're able to chase Vargas from this game after an inning and 2/3. And Goldschmidt, who hit a 2-run home run, capped it off and put them on top 7-1 at the end of 2 innings. They'd add another run in the 5th and have an 8-1 lead. Cesar Vargas mentioned leaving this game 7 earned runs in an inning and 2/3. Greinke still in the game, working here into the 6th. Goldschmidt with that home run had a double too, and Matt Kemp with a solo home run for Matt, his 12th home run of the year.
Yeah, Don, when you look at that game summary, Cesar Vargas did not make an adjustment. Everything was up. Got hammered with some fat pitches in the zone. Zach Greinke, we mentioned it earlier, seems like he's back to his old self, making some good quality pitches. And what did we say about Goldschmidt? Going into this series, he's swinging the bat well tonight.
This is struck well. Bourne going back, going to be over his head, and one hop the wall as Amarista pulls into second base. Himself a leadoff double to begin things here in the 6th inning. Hitting it off here as part of the double switch.
Hey, went down and got it. Zach Greinke likes to work down, but right into the swing path of Alexei. Oh, look at that. He nearly picks that ball off the ground.
So a double to start the top of the 6th inning. Here's John Jay. He was grounded out twice tonight against Zach Greinke. Once to second, once to short. An open stance from the left side. And a drive to right field struck well. Bourne going back, leaps and he can't get it. That'll one hop the wall. Around from second base comes Amarista. He'll score on the RBI double by John Jay. And the Padres collect their 2nd run of the night. It's 8-2. And quickly here against Greinke, back-to-back doubles. Balls both hit sharply.
It's a double-double inning for San Diego, right down the center of the plate, and John Jay is all over it. And Alexei Amarista, he's got to hesitate a little bit because he's not sure, if Michael Bourne is going to get to that ball. From his vantage point, it looks like that ball may just go right directly over the defender, Bourne, and he eventually scores easily.
So back-to-back doubles. Padres get their 2nd run of the game, and it brings up Will Myers. Myers 0 for 2, has struck out looking and grounded out to shortstop.
And once again, John Jay continues to pad those numbers with runners in scoring position.
Came in 438 in that category.
That's pretty good analysis right there, right?
That's good stuff. You don't get that everywhere.
Let's do that again. What was that again on John Jay?
Well, coming into the game, he hits at 438. Runners in scoring position. That's good stuff.
Got a game break coming up. The Buccos are in Texas playing the Rangers.
That's why you're the best in the league. This is inside.
Remember what I mentioned earlier, if the Padres can just get within the slam range and take your chances that way.
Got a lot of baseball left here. They are batting in the 6th inning.
And you know what? If somebody's out there saying, oh, that's no chance that's going to happen, you know what? I don't want you on my team. Right?
That's right. Come from behind before. Inside for ball 3, 3-1. Padres have been held to 4 hits in this game so far by Greinke. And 2 of them have come back-to-back to begin the top half of the 6th inning. Both doubles. Amarista, then Jay. Now Myers will take strike 2.
Ooh, the front hip, front door breaking ball, little slider. Watch where he starts this pitch. Actually, you know what? He missed with it. He wanted that one down and away, but it works to his advantage. He wanted that breaking ball down and away.
Ball 4, and down to first base goes Myers. So Greinke all of a sudden running into a little trouble here now in the 6th inning. It's the first walk that he's allowed in his outing. Well, one of the free agent pickups, perhaps the biggest, is Zach Greinke, but here are the other ones across Major League Baseball and how they are faring. So far, so good for pretty much everybody else. David Price, Jordan Zimmerman, Johnny Cueto, and Jeff Samardzija. The higher run average for David Price, but the good record because the Red Sox are scoring a bunch of runs for David Price.
Well, I know that they're in the division, and we've seen him a couple times, but I really like Johnny Cueto.
Yeah.
And I know that's easy for me to say because
You've seen him at his best, that's for sure, against the Padres. This year he has been off the charts. There's Matt Kemp, straightened up, but it grabs the inside corner. Kemp with a home run in the first, grounded out to third base in the 4th inning, 1 for 2. Chases that pitch, headed away. Slider.
You guessing another slider down and away here?
Well, the last one worked pretty well.
Yeah. You know, he might go fastball up and out of the zone.
Going back and forth right now. Wellington Castillo, his battery mate, shook off a few. A little bit low, and it's 1-2 now to Matt Kemp. Greinke running into some trouble here in the 6th inning. Not a lot more than 2 runs in any start against the Padres in 13 games started. Right at that right now. Shot foul.
There's that breaking ball you were talking about. And judging by the Fox tracks, it looks like Zach Greinke is trying to keep the ball down and away to Matt Kemp. As Castillo, oh, it's time for a little meeting right here. You know, one swing is 3 runs. And that would mean that the Padres within 3. See everything down there. All 4 pitches.
Kemp a grounded foul. Hanging tough here against Greinke. If nothing else, driving up the pitch count for Greinke. Padres would love to get into that bullpen. That's been a problem area for the Diamondbacks.
You know, you make a good point on that. Right now, you look at Greinke at 78. I mean, he's got to be good for about 100, 105, right? But still, with the lead, they will go to Clippard, Hudson, Ziegler if it's a safe situation.
He has severely slowed it up here. Two doubles and a walk. The first 3 batters of this 6th inning. Now a foul ball to the end of the Diamondbacks dugout. They've got somebody over there or the front of the fencing.
Greinke's good for about 105 pitches.
80th coming up here to Matt Kemp. Two and 2. About to see his 8th pitch of the at bat, and everything's been down.
Outfield on the deep side. Hey, you get jammed with something off the end of the bat. That's another base runner possibly bases loaded or driving in a run.
Look at all those pitches down.
You look at them.
2-2 pitch. is on the ground foul. See what I'm saying, though? Look at that. That's the 8th pitch of the at-bat, and they're all down. I'm having to do the play-by-play and the analysis. Really?
Oh, here we go.
Really?
Okay. You're really gonna go there.
I have to do both. That's fine. It's okay. I'll do it all. 2 and 2.
Look at that.
See? They're all down there. Something I noticed I thought I'd share with our audience. Two pitch. And a grounder.
Look
foul.
at that. Another one.
How about that? I think, and this is just coming from me, he's trying to work down in the zone.
You think?
To Matt Kemp.
Yeah, I think I referenced that like after pitch number 5 or 6.
You did?
Yeah.
Really? So I missed it?
Yeah.
And all of this that I think I'm doing on my own has already been done.
Check your DVR, kind of rewind about 3 minutes and I know what I'm talking about.
I guess I wasn't listening again.
And that's usually what I do.
Well, I just noticed it because now look, this will be the 10th pitch
all
of the
it takes
at-bat.
is one.
Yeah.
One little mistake, a hanging breaking ball. Look at that.
2-2.
That's amazing.
Jay at second, Myers at first.
Does he climb the ladder here with a fastball?
Different look.
Yeah.
After all these.
You got to be careful though, man. I'm telling you, if you try to go up here, you better make sure you get it up there.
Nope. Stand down.
Got a frog with a tennis racket in that glove, the catcher. See, this is a huge inning because nobody out, 2 base runners. You got Matt Kemp at the plate.
It's had a great at bat here, full count. Pitch 12 of the at bat coming up. And a liner foul.
Wow. He was out in front of that 2-seamer.
So now you get Greinke all the way up to 85 pitches.
Hey, let's focus on first sign after 2 from Castillo because that last sequence he flashed signs. It was 2 and then 1 in.
Pitch 13. And a fly ball to right field. Incoming is Bourne, and he'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. No advance for the base runners. Throw to third. And Jay remained at second base. So there's the first out. Took 13 pitches, but Kemp finally flies out to right.
Well, Matt Kemp, that was one heck of a battle. And we talk about battles and good at-bats. How about last night on the left? Changeup out of the hand of Coleman from the left side. Look at maybe mid-thigh high. And then on the right side, the high pitch. So great plate coverage from the left side out in front of the changeup. Looked like an off-speed pitch as well from the right side of the plate.
Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, out to give Greinke a little bit of a rest here after that battle. Able to work very hard here in the 6th inning. Wanted a bat by Matt Kemp. Finally flied out to right to end the at bat and the battle. Greinke finally won it. Jan Hervis Solarte coming up. Padres have runners at first and second with now 1 out. Jay at second, Myers at first. Solarte taps it foul.
Once Zach Greinke gets that feel, and we saw it right there from Matt Kemp, down in the zone. I mean, he was peppering it from inside, outside, back and forth, action on the 2-seamer, and then ultimately won that war with the breaking ball down and away that Matt popped up to right, but that was quite a battle.
In the dirt, and a ball and a strike.
So the war was won in this last pitch after Zach Greinke battling Matt Kemp. Look at this, down and away. Castillo wants it to slider, and Matt kind of works underneath it a little bit. Out in front just a tad. Caught that.
A little bit low. 2-1 to Solarte, who tonight is 0 for 2. He's grounded out to second base, flied out to left. Padres have scored a run here in the visiting half of the 6th inning. Trail 8-2. And Solarte grounds to first. Goldschmidt, it'll be a fair ball, won't get it. Down the right field line, coming around from second is Jay. He'll score. Myers to third on a double for Solarte. Right off that first base bag and kicks on down the right field line.
I'll tell you what, Don, I think that's a makeable play if that ball does not hit the bag. Goldschmidt was right on it.
Left fielder Melvin Upton Jr.
Goldschmidt, okay, the high chopper. Hits the back corner of the bag.
So it is now 8-3. Padres have got 2 runs in this inning. Solarte at second, Myers at third with still 1 out, and it brings up Melvin Upton Jr. And a foul straight back to the screen. Upton grounded out at third in the second, double to right center in the 5th. Padres with 5 hits, all extra base hits on the night. The home run by Kemp, double for Upton, doubles for Amarista and Jay in this inning, and now a fly ball to right field. Bourne cutting in and over. Will make the catch. Tag at third base is Myers. He will score without a problem. Throw went to third base, and the Padres pick up their 4th run. It's now 8-4 Arizona. But San Diego so far scoring 3 times here in the top of the 6th inning. Sac fly for Upton.
Okay, first part of the challenge has been completed. You're within slam range. Still a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. And Bourne, knowing that there's no way he's going to throw him out at the plate, at least keeps that runner, Solarte, at second base.
Now we're at Wallace, 0 for 2. He's grounded out to third, struck out swinging. Into the shift are the Diamondbacks on the right side. Wallace jumping on that first pitch. 28 pitches in this inning for Greinke. And here is Solarte driving in a run with his double here in the 6th inning. Bounces in, 1-1. And by far the most taxing inning of the outing tonight for Zach Greinke has come here in the 6th inning. He's right now dealing with the 7th hitter of the inning. One. That is up 2-1. Carlos Villanueva. Already seen Perdomo and Hand in relief of Cesar Vargas. Padres trailed 8-1. It's now 8-4. Runner in scoring position. Wallace trying to keep this going here in the top of the 6th inning. And it is going to be through the shift off the glove of Segura. Coming around from second is Solarte. Throw the plate is going to be in time. So Solarte is thrown out at the plate, which will end the inning. But a productive inning for the Padres. They scored 3 times. 8-4 Arizona at the end of 5.5. All right, Mike, thanks very much. Well, the Padres with a 3-run top half of the 6th inning. Gene Segura leading it off here in the home half of the 6th. Red hand apparently missing a little bit low and falling behind here 2-0. Gene Segura, Michael Bourne, Paul Goldschmidt with Hand back on the mound. And worked the 5th, starts the 6th, and falls behind here 3-0. Luis Perdomo went 2 1/3, 2 hits, allowed a run, walked 2, struck out 2. After Cesar Vargas was touched for 7 runs in an inning and 2/3. Sperrer tonight has struck out, had a sacrifice fly in the 2nd inning, and then grounded out in the 4th inning. Fly ball left field. Upton Jr. back a step or 2. Makes the catch for the first out here in the 6th inning. Well, you heard Mike Pomeranz tell you about Yu Darvish's first start since Tommy John surgery, and kind of impact he can have for the Texas Rangers in his return as a 5-2 win, a 5-inning effort, 81 pitches. Pretty good for Darvish coming off that Tommy John surgery. That's big for Texas, though, to get him back.
And more times than not, guys are bouncing back from that very nicely, and Yu Darvish seems like he's on his way to back where he was before, because Texas, to add him when you're only a game and a half out in the AL West, the way Seattle is playing right now, that's just an added bullet that you're going to send out there once every 5 days. And if that surgery takes, and it seems like it's going to for the Texas Rangers and Yu Darvish, I mean, that is huge, a huge shot in the arm, no pun intended.
One out here in the 6th inning. Michael Bourne batting.
I mean, when he is on his game, whew.
Grass at third. Brett Wallace with one down here in the 6th inning.
Good breaking ball. Well, speaking of the American League, explain to me how the Boston Red Sox are hitting nearly 300 as a team.
It's unbelievable.
It is incredible.
They scored what, 9 runs today and lost.
May 28th.
Yep. 1-2 pitch is outside.
They're hitting 294 as a club. As Tyler Clippard heats up for the Diamondbacks. He's their 7th inning guy. It usually goes Clippard 7th, Hudson 8th for the save Ziegler.
Line to left center field, and that's going to get down. A gapper to the track of the wall. Bourne, who can fly, is thinking 3. Throw will go in that direction, and he will get there with a slide. Still got great speed. Has his 3rd hit of the night. 4th time has been on base. A 1-out triple here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, lefty on lefty, and he stayed closed on that pitch nicely. Keeping that front side closed and driving that ball and splitting that left center field gap. And as you mentioned, the speed of Michael Bourne plays right in front of him. No help needed from the third base coach, Matt Williams.
Now going to put on Goldschmidt with first base open. One guy in this lineup you're not going to let beat you is Goldschmidt, and they're going to put him on.
Yeah, that's the right move. You got the left-hander Lamb on deck. Take your chances that way. Lefty on lefty. Hey, this is one of the new rules they're discussing. I like a pitcher having to throw 4 wide ones.
Yep.
If the rules would go through, they would just say, no, just take your base. I'm not a fan of that.
I'm not sure how much it really speeds up the game either. I mean, this didn't take long. So down to first goes Goldschmidt.
I mean, part of the rules of baseball is you have to pitch to the batter.
This went out to talk here to Brad Hand into his 2nd inning of relief.
I got an idea. You want to speed up the game? How about each hitter come up to the plate with a 1-1 count already on them?
That'd be exciting.
Absolutely. Hey, the majority of the hitters take a pitch anyway. And if your first pitch swinging happy, sure, swing at the first pitch 1-1.
Morris hopping out here from behind home plate, reeling off the signs for the infielders.
In case the runner is going to go at first base in this 1st and 3rd situation. And with the left-hander Hand, it should utilize or kind of help the running game for the Diamondbacks against the Diamondbacks.
And with a single and a walk has scored a run in this game, batting in the cleanup spot. 3rd base for the Diamondbacks. Padres just got closer with 3 runs in the top half of this inning.
Well, if that runner at first is going to go, it's going to be on the first move. It's going to be on that leg kick. I'd have a long set here and then throw over to first. That's just me.
You hold the baseball a while? It's one of your tactics?
Because runners hate that when you hold. They get antsy.
Held it for a while, now comes home and pops it up. There's Lamb off 3rd, foul ground. Brett Wallace makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. Big out there for Hand, 2 down. So that'll bring up Wellington Castillo. Reached on a fielder's choice, struck out swinging, single to center. Michael Bourne at third base. Paul Goldschmidt at first. Diamondbacks batting here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Wanting to do baseball as Brad Hand got one from home plate umpire Todd Tichenor.
Sometimes the seams just don't feel right. Sometimes the ball just, you know, it just doesn't have that good feel. Maybe a little slippery.
That runs away, and it's now 2-0. 95 that time from Hand. Maybe overthrowing here a little bit. Vargas started inning in 2/3, gave up 7 runs. Luis Perdomo 2 1/3, 1 run. Now Brad Hand into his 2nd inning of relief has 2 outs. Here's a 2-0 pitch, and Castillo will take the strike. Took a little off that time and grabbed the outside corner.
Yeah, that's a huge run out there at third base for the Diamondbacks. Brad Hand's got to bear down here.
Swing and a miss, kind of waved at that. Fooled on the pitch, 2-2.
Just kind of feeling for that pitch rather than attacking it.
Diamondbacks on top 8-4, led 8-1 at one point. Brad Hand trying to keep this a 4-run deficit at the moment. 1st and 3rd, and a 2-2 to Castillo. And a swing and a miss. Gets away from Norris, had to find it behind the umpire and throw to first in time to end the inning. So a strikeout for Hand. We head to the 7th. It's 8-4 Diamondbacks. Padres baseball brought to you by Tough Turtle Turf, the industry's only lifetime turf. By Petco, your complete pet store. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealers. Back at Chase Field in Arizona, where the Diamondbacks hold an 8-4 lead over the Padres. And out of this game is Zach Greinke after 6 innings. Tyler Clippard in now for the Diamondbacks.
And this is the blueprint that Chip Hale goes by when they have the lead. Tyler Clippard in the 7th, Daniel Hudson in the 8th, and then if it's the same situation, Brad Ziegler. High splits for the righties, hitting .323. This is Tyler's 20th game. Nice ERA though. A strikeout to inning pitched.
The bullpen has not been good for the Diamondbacks. You look over the last 7 games, how about a 9.45 earned run average. On an OPS. Pretty impressive. So right now, Padres are going to try to take advantage of this bullpen. With Greinke out of the game after 6 innings. Greinke had a tough 6th inning. Padres scored 3 times. So he is charged with 4 runs in 6 innings. And Derek Norris takes a pitch up high for ball 1. Six innings, Greinke gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, walked a batter, struck out 2. Wind has picked up in here, and a bag making its way across left center field. Down and in, 2-0. Well, just activated. Matt Thornton up in the pen, the left-hander for the Padres. Love to get him into a game. I know Andy Green would like to. In there for a strike, 2-1. Swing and a miss on a pitch up, and chasing that was Norris. 2-2.
Well, Tyler Clippard, he's been around a while. 4-pitch pitcher. He's got the fastball, changeup, splitter, and a curveball. It's mostly fastballs and changeups. Sometimes he'll throw that splitter up there with 2 strikes. This looks like a changeup grip here in the glove.
Popped up foul, back and underneath us. Derek Norris leading it off here in the top of the 7th inning, battling here against Tyler Clippard. Two pitch. And a pitch high, 3-2. Payoff pitch. Norris will lift it in the air down the left field line, but he got ahead of it. And a foul ball.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Did you read a promo next door?
I did, and I butchered it.
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. You're very good at that, right?
What's that?
It wasn't that promo.
No. I didn't do the copyright. I would have nailed that.
So something you hadn't seen before.
No, it was what I read every night.
Oh, no. Swing and a miss as Norris strikes out for the first out here in the 7th inning. Good battle there by Norris as we check in with Julie.
Hey guys, well yesterday you were talking about the origin of Travis Jankowski's nickname Freddie, and I had to talk to him about it today, and he said what it actually is that when he was a young kid he used to be a big fan of Mr. Rogers. His first name is Fred Rogers, and he used to watch it as his kid, and his older brother and sister used to make fun of him and they used to call him Freddie. Well, he complained to his parents and they forbade his brother and sister to call him Freddie, but then, as any resourceful older sibling would do, they told all his friends to call him Freddie. So finally by the 8th grade he said, you know what, I'm just gonna wear this. Go ahead, call me Freddie. And it stuck.
That's great.
That is awesome. Well, Freddie here pinch hitting and fouling it off.
Thanks, Julie, because I mentioned it the other night, and for some reason I forgot about it. And then I talked to Travis before the game, and he told me about the Mr. Rogers thing. So that's funny. Pass it on to your friends and let them wear you out.
Parents will let you do it, but you can let other people know. He bats here with one out in the pitcher's spot as part of the double switch earlier. And down to count 0-2. I love Batman. You a big Batman fan?
Love Batman. Adam West.
Yeah.
Burt Ward.
The original.
Yeah. Julie Newmar. Catwoman. What are you doing?
0-2. Strike three. Back-to-back case now for Clippard. Able to get Norris. Now Jankowski. 2 down.
There's the changeup that Tyler Clippard will throw any time. Actually, you know what? I take that back. That was a split. Look at that ball just tumble up there. Right on the outside corner. So he throws the changeup and the split. That was the split finger.
2 down here in the 7th inning. And it brings up Alexi Amarista. Amarista doubled in his first at bat in the 6th inning. Part of the double switch. Alexei Ramirez left this game. Alexei had been 0 for 2 tonight. Alexei hits a ground ball right side. Segura to first base for the out that ends the inning. Padres down in order in the 7th. It's 7th inning stretch. 8-4 Arizona. Diego as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's time now for our Fan Diego fan of the game. We saw some Padres fans here prior to the ball game.
Yeah.
Made the road trip here to Arizona for this 3-game weekend series. Why not? Padres and the Diamondbacks playing here in the desert.
And chances are, if you come to see the Padres in Arizona and you wear your Padre gear, Emmy Award-winning director Michael Odino will find you and he will shoot you and put you on the air. That's what he does best.
Matt Thornton into the game here.
I'd like to see Matt back. It was the Achilles that got him in spring training.
Going to make his Padres debut. So the 3 games at A-ball in preparation as part of the rehab for Thornton, veteran left-hander. Brandon Drury leads it off, fouls it back. He's a guy that has done it all in the big leagues as far as relief pitching goes. He has been a key setup guy. He's been a closer. He's done it everything.
This guy's Paul Bunyan. He's huge.
He's a big man.
Oh my goodness gracious. He's got a pet ox named Blue. He swings an axe. And here's the transaction. Keith Hessler optioned back to AAA El Paso. And Matt Thornton reinstated from the 15-day DL.
Swinging a foul tip.
There's a loyal Padre fan.
It's a good looking shirt. I haven't seen that one.
Incorporating all the colors, huh?
Yeah. Thornton bounces that, evens the count here at 2-2. And Matt Thornton signed by the Padres as a minor league free agent first week of March. Last year with the Washington Nationals, 60 relief outings, 2-1 with a 2.18 earned run average last year for the Nationals. His 2-2 pitch on the ground left side. Amarista from short with a good throw. And in time to get Drury for the first out here at the bottom of the 7th inning. So 1 out, and Chris Owings coming up. Owings singling to right in the 2nd. Since then has grounded out twice.
There's your 8th inning guy for the Diamondbacks, Daniel Hudson. Getting ready for work.
Swinging a foul at the dish. Ricky Weeks Jr. has come out on deck here now for Arizona. With bat in the pitcher's spot. Owings tonight 1 for 3. Fly ball center field. Jay going back, still going, and that ball is going to be off the wall or gone. Gone. Home run, the indication by Tony Randazzo. The umpire, the second base umpire, telling him to go all the way around. Owings had stopped at second base, but Randazzo got out there and made the call. It was above the yellow line. So home run. Now a 9-4 lead for the Diamondbacks. We'll get a look exactly where this ball landed out there in straightaway center. This looked very close to me.
Oh, I don't think that's. I think it's below it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not a home run.
Challenge time.
Yeah.
Padres still have their challenge because they won the challenge early.
So that'll be a double then?
Yes.
That clearly hit below the yellow line.
So this will probably be a double, I think. Crew chief review here, so no challenge by the Padres. They're just not sure, so they're going to check it out. Bill Miller is the crew chief of this crew. And this will give us the best look.
Yep.
And below the yellow line. Owings thought it was a double. He had stopped at second base. And it is a double, so you're going to bring Owings back out. Actually, he's still there. Is he? No, he's coming back out. It's in the dugout. So a double for Chris Owings. Made a bid for his second home run of the year. Just underneath the yellow line. His second hit of the ball game. Ricky Weeks Jr. coming up now to pitch hit. Weeks started last night's game, 240 average, 2 homers, 7 runs batted in. Thornton gets him to foul it off to the right. Matt Thornton, a 12-year Major League veteran. The Mariners, the White Sox, the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Nationals. Most time with the Chicago White Sox, 2006 through 2013 in the pen for the White Sox. Runner at second takes off. Throw to third is going to be in time. We'll see if they're going to challenge this. As it stands right now, Brett Wallace supplying the tag.
Sure they will.
And the call at third is out, but we'll see. And they are going to check. Chip Hale wants to see the challenge.
I got safe.
I think he might have been. Looked like that left hand got in.
The call on the field is that the runner was out at third base.
So back to the headphones we go. Crowd seeing it on the big board. They think he's safe. And a quick conversation, and he's safe. So stolen base for Chris Owens. Third overturned call on the night. Another look at that play at third.
Okay, now watch when the left hand touches the bag, right? Right there, and then the glove not applied yet.
Infield in now, all the way around for the Padres. Ricky Weeks Jr. with a count of 1-1. He's stepping back out of the way of a pitch down and in. So Owings with a 1-out double, steals third. 2-1 to Weeks. It's outside. Fouled off to the right. Full count. Arizona on top, looking to add on with Chris Owings 90 feet away. Now Thornton in his Padres debut, ready with a 3-2 pitch, and that's ball 4. He loses Weeks. 1-out walk for Weeks. Well, it's time now for a memorable moment in All-Star history, brought to you by Geico. Late in the 2011 All-Star game played right here at Chase Field, Padres reliever Heath Bell entered in a very unique way. Bell sprinted in from the bullpen, then slid in front of the pitcher's mound, taking out a chunk of the infield grass in the process, then proceeded to give Johnny Peralta of the Tigers to pop out for the final out of the inning. National League prevailed 5-1.
Well, a couple of things. It's a good way to blow out your knee. Glad that he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
And secondly, did he show proper etiquette and replace his divot?
I didn't notice. It didn't appear to.
Maybe one of the infielders did after Heath took the hill.
First and third, Nick Ahmed fouls it back. And he did that all the time, right? Running in when he was.
Yes.
Yeah. On a regular basis, he would sprint in from the pen, right?
Yep. A la Craig Lefferts back in the day.
think he'd be out of gas after running in like that.
I would, yeah. Get the heart pumping, you know, get the blood pumping a little bit.
Ahmed taking a strike, and Thornton jumps ahead here 0-2.
Remember the cars back in the 70s?
Sure.
From the bullpen, they'd bring you in the golf cart.
Yeah, I like that. I imagine that took some time, though, if you think about it, today's game. Back then, you were playing games in 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Well, the double plays in order here. Ahmed's grounded into 4 double plays this year.
Elevated, and he chases. 0-2 pitch. Climbing the ladder there.
Nice.
Strikes out Ahmed. 2 down. First strikeout for Thornton.
Hey, that's what I mentioned earlier. If you're peppering it down, 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 and you go up the ladder out of the hand, it looks very inviting, but Ahmed cannot get on top of that pitch for the strikeout.
Runners at the corners. 2 down. Gene Segura coming up. Fouled off to the right, out of play. Line caught at shortstop. Nice play by Amarista. That ball was coming back at him, but he makes the grab down by his ankles. 8-4 Arizona. All right, Mike, thanks very much. On to the 8th inning back here in Arizona. And as anticipated, Clippard in the 7th, Hudson in the 8th.
Daniel Hudson, a 3-pitch pitcher, his 20th game. Nice ERA, nice numbers, good splits. Fastball, slider, changeup, about 95. He can get up there about 97. Always working from the stretch.
Well, John Jay leading it off. He doubled his last time up to drive in a run. Also scored a run. This one zipped up and in. Tyler Clippard went an inning and struck out 2, had a 1-2-3 7th, so he did his job. Fighting the Padres, who had all of a sudden put together 3 runs against Zach Greinke in the 6th inning. Swinging a foul tip that time into the catcher's mitt. Fernando Rodney, we've not seen in a while, warming in the pen. Certainly not a safe situation, but he needs some work.
Yeah, he does. Last time he was out there was on the 22nd, 6 days ago.
Seems like that's never a good situation for a closer.
No.
Just coming in to get work.
Yeah, it's you know, I've always thought, this is just me, I've always thought no matter what the score, no matter what the situation, every game's a big game. Every inning's a big inning. But it seems like for some closers, they just don't react. They don't the same way as if it was a 1-run lead or a 3-run lead.
Different adrenaline?
And I know everybody's different. There have been closers that have been said,
don't do it.
I can't. I don't want to do that.
We see it sometimes during spring training. Closers have terrible spring trainings. They just cannot repeat the adrenaline that I guess they feel in a save situation in the 4th inning of a spring training game. I guess.
You're right. And you know what? It's funny, kind of going off on a tangent here, but Trevor Hoffman in spring training. Trevor, I think it was always the 5th inning. It was either the 4th or the 5th that he would always throw because he didn't want to. He wanted to face the guys who he wasn't going to face during the regular season. And granted, you know what Trevor Hoffman throws. He's been around for 10, 12, 16 years pitching. But that was just his routine.
Full count here to John Jay, leading it off in the 8th.
Or maybe it was a little later, so the regulars were out and he would face the guy. That's what it was. Yeah, there you go. So he would face like the AA guys or the guys filling in after the regulars had their. It was never in the 9th inning.
Ground ball right side. Segura to his left. And he's able to throw out Jay. 1 down here in the 8th inning.
Hey, Don, you want more on San Diego sports?
Yes, I do.
Well, watch the Loose Cannons. Steve Hartman, Mike Costa. Extra 1360 Fox Sports San Diego for all the latest news on the Padres, Chargers, and more. Weeknights this season on Fox Sports San Diego. Check out what shirt Steve Hartman's wearing. He only owns 2.
Really? So it's 1 out of 2.
Yeah. It's either going to be a blue one or a black one.
That's new. That's new information. I didn't know that.
That's why you got to tune in.
Well, 1 down here in the 8th. Will Myers struck out and grounded out. Last time up, walked in, scored. Shifting on Myers on the left side of the infield here are the Diamondbacks.
Three heavy on the left side.
(17 of 19) appearances have been scoreless for Hudson as Myers hits one out to shallow right. Bourne got a late break and will not get there. Drops in for a hit. First hit of the night for Will Myers. A 1-out single here in the 8th inning. Time now for the Bill Howe play of the game. Back in the 1st inning, Matt Kemp with his 12th home run of the year. 2nd home run in as many nights as 3-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Homered last night, homered tonight.
First pitch hunting on the fastball, middle in, and he turned on it.
Well, 4 runs given up by Zach Greinke in the game tonight. Greinke departed with a chance to pick up his 6th win, coming in individually at 5-3. Now Matt Kemp batting again. And a swing and a miss. Fastball by him at 96. It's good gas from Daniel Hudson.
Hey, here's a guy who's rebounded from Tommy John surgery, I believe twice.
He's the longest tenured member of the Diamondbacks.
I remember he made his return in San Diego against the Padres. A very emotional time for Daniel Hudson. Well, you should have seen the reception he got from his teammates after that outing.
To second for one, on to first for two. Nicely done, Nick Ahmed. Starting it from the shortstop spot. We played 7.5. It's 8-4 Diamondbacks. Junior star of the game, and it's Michael Bourne, the veteran with great speed. He's had a big night tonight. A walk, a single, and a triple, and also has a stolen base on the night. Showing off the great speed in the 6th inning on the triple. That was a gapper out to left center field. Good into another gear around second base. Part of his 3-hit attack, been on base 4 times in this game tonight. And he's going to lead it off here in the bottom of the 8th inning as the Padres bring in their closer. Has not had work in a while, as you mentioned, Fernando Rodney in to get some work.
Yeah, it's been 6 days for Fernando. Not a safe situation, but he has had one heck of a year. Look at that. No ERA. 10 for 10 in save opportunities. And the strikeouts right up there with innings pitched. And the splits, yeah, some kind of nice for Fernando Rodney.
It's time now for In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. And they are the numbers of one Michael Bourne making his way to the plate. 3 for 3 tonight. 2 singles, the triple, 2 RBI, scored 2 runs. And in 9 games this year, hitting at .440. Kind of a strange year for him, as we talked about earlier. And designated for assignment earlier in the year. The Diamondbacks pick him up, and here he is back in the majors again. And leading it off here in the home half of the 8th inning. Here's strike 1 for Rodney. Starts him with a fastball at 93. Now Matt Thornton in his Padres debut ended up giving up a hit, had a walk and a strikeout. This ground ball right side to Solarte. There's the first out of the 8th inning.
Good to see Matt Thornton back. The Achilles is okay, and it's always nice, Don, you know, to have a veteran left-hander like that in the bullpen to go with Buchter, Hand. Saw Brad also tonight.
Yeah, Hand went 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, walked the batter intentionally, and struck out 3. Well, the bullpen did a very good job tonight. Perdomo, Hand, Thornton, and now Rodney into the game, giving up only 1 run between the 4 relievers in this game. And Vargas, the starter, roughed up tonight, inning in 2/3, 7 runs. Closer Brad Ziegler up in the pen.
One bad inning. That was the second inning for the Diamondbacks. Dropped a 5 spot. Dropped a Lincoln on him.
Paul Goldschmidt part of this attack tonight for the Diamondbacks, as you might imagine. Doubled in the first, homered in the second inning. High strike call. And the home run back in the second inning for Goldschmidt. A pitch that was up from Vargas. And he takes care of this.
High cutter. Well, I'll tell you what, he got on top of that ball. Even though the ball was hitting the line like that, some serious topspin. You can see by the path of that bat getting to that baseball. But this kid's foul pole is a foul pole strength. I mean, he'll drive him out to right field, center field, turn on that cutter.
And Rodney walks Goldschmidt. So a 1-out walk here. Goldschmidt down to first base. Second time that he has walked in this game tonight. Last time was intentionally. That was by Brad Hand back in the 6th inning. So 1-out, 1 on. Jake Lamb coming up. Steps in here on the left side as Rodney gets ready to work with him. Lamb with a single in the first, walked and scored in the 5th. That single in the first delivered 2 runs. RBIs 25 and 26 on the year for Jake Lamb. Tad low on the changeup. Missing outside, and it's 2-0. Runner goes, pitches a strike, throw down there is going to be not in time. Wallace says part of the shift was a guy covering second base, sort of, who's in that general direction.
And you know what, I've got a feeling with Will Myers holding him on, they want to get that run to stay out of slam range. I mean, a lot of teams will do that.
Stolen base here for Paul Goldschmidt. We had 1 out in the inning. Two and 1 to Jake Lamb.
You know, that looked like a delayed steal because Goldschmidt didn't go until that ball reached the hitting area. As soon as Rodney lifted his leg.
Ground ball right side. Solarte rounds in behind it and boots it.
I tried to olay that one on the left side rather than staying in front of it. Didn't stay in front of it. He plays this one off to his right on the move. Cannot catch it cleanly.
So error charged here to Solarte, adding to the inning now for Rodney. First and third, 1 out. And Wellington Castillo, the batter.
So that was a delayed steal by Paul Goldschmidt.
Castillo takes the strike.
And when you look at that play, the shift was on, correct? And when you have a position player who's not used to playing over there, that position, Brett Wallace, you catch him off guard a little bit. You shuffle, the ball gets to the hitting area, bang. That's when you go, because when the pitch is caught, and then the infielders, not all the time, but they have a tendency to relax a little bit, and that's when you surprise them with it.
Definitely appeared to surprise the Padres.
Yeah.
Nobody really moved. First and third, one down. 1-1 pitch coming up here to Castillo, but first to throw to first and a seed over to first base.
That was a P-Rod.
Here's 96.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if Will Myers was expecting that.
Yeah. It'll bounce in, blocked by Norris.
I don't know what year it was, but Alan Trammell was the manager of the Tigers, and we were playing interleague in Detroit. Fernando Rodney was on the staff for the Tigers.
Yep.
Alan came over to the Padres dugout. We were talking about him, the Tigers and whatever. And somebody posed the question, hey.
Ground ball to short to the backhand. Nicely done by Amorisa to second for one. On to first for two.
What's up with Rodney's hat? Because he wears it off to the side. And Alan said, oh, yeah, that's right. I got to go talk to him about that. Now we know the whole story, why he wears the hat to the side. And that's a nice play all the way around for the Padres. The old 6, 4, 3. We go to the top of the ninth from Copper Square.
The pointer made its way in there. That's
Yeah,
nice.
I like that.
In both booths, Arizona and in San Diego. Now Brad Ziegler is in, closer in a non-save situation, but he is 8 for 8 in save opportunities.
Now, Brad Ziegler, we've seen him around for a long time. Unorthodox delivery, side armor, gets a lot of ground balls, not overpowering by any means. But I'll tell you what, it's tough to get him elevated and get the ball up in the air. A ground ball pitcher, one of the better ones in all of baseball.
Hervis Solarte, 1-for-3 with an RBI on the night, double. And takes pitch outside.
In fact, Brad Ziegler in the National League rankings for relievers, first in ground ball fly ball ratio at 5.43, which means for every 5 ground balls he throws a fly ball. So almost 6 grounders, fly ball, 6 grounders, fly ball, 6 grounders, fly ball. I like the chances there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, he had 30 saves last year and 32 appearances with the Diamondbacks. And a pitch in there for a strike, 2-1.
Look at, he's only throwing low 80s.
Sixth year with the Diamondbacks, started his career in the American League with the Oakland A's. And a swing and a miss. Remember, he was on the DL with a skull fracture at one point early in his career. Two pitch is driven down the right field line, a foul ball. We've seen a few from Solarte tonight, foul, but hit well. Tomorrow we play day baseball. Drew Pomerantz and his 1.70 earned run average will be matched up against Archie Bradley into his third start. 2-2. On the ground, a fair ball down the right field line into right. Bourne over to play it, but a leadoff single for Solarte to begin things here in the ninth.
Well, as Don mentioned, second hit tonight. We go back to last night. He had the 2 home runs from each side of the plate. Stay hot, seeing the ball well. And once again, mentioned, Padres are in slam range.
Melvin Upton Jr. has a double and an RBI tonight. Had a sac fly. Holds the Diamondbacks all-time records in appearances, 331 now. One-oh is a liner to center field. It's in for a base hit. Taking second is Solarte, and the first two have reached for San Diego here in the ninth inning.
Getting very interesting.
We're meeting here at the mound as Ziegler has given up back-to-back hits.
Now remember, you cannot pitch yourself into a safe situation.
Right.
Right. But the Padres, boy, that's a good sound. Okay, a little bit here, a little bit there, extra base hit, a walk.
Everett Wallace, a guy that can get a walk as he stands in here on the left side. Also a hit. He had a hit earlier and a swing and a miss. For strike one. That's nasty, down and away.
A changeup at 74.
On the ground to first, a tough hop. Goldschmidt to Ziegler for the out at first. The runners move along. As Solarte will take third, Upton takes second. Wallace retired 3-1. The first out here in the ninth, and that'll bring up Derek Norris. 0 for 3 night tonight for the Padres catcher. Chopped off the plate. Ziegler waiting for it to come down, and finally does, and his throw will be getting away. From third base will come Solarte, and he will score. To second base goes Norris, and now it is 8-5. Well, that ball was in the air a very long time, and Ziegler, probably will advise, probably should have put it in his pocket, but instead fires it down to first and wildly.
Now the race is on, and we know that Derek Norris, you know, he doesn't have blazing speed, but for a catcher, he can get down the line very quickly. Solarte was holding his ground. And you know, you're right, Don. You know, you're better off as a pitcher probably putting that one in your back pocket. You've got the bases loaded with 1 out, forcing any base, but a run, still only 1 out, and 2 runners in scoring position.
And the pitching coach, Mike Butcher, coming out here to talk to Ziegler. His closer in here in a non-safe situation. He's trying to finish it off here for the Diamondbacks. And now the Padres making some noise here in the 9th inning. Not going quietly. They've added a run. It's now 8-5. Runners at second and third, and still only 1 out. They have Hector Sanchez coming up here to pinch hit. Sanchez 2 for 4 in his career against Ziegler. They were charged on the throw to Brad Ziegler. Has the run to score. So Hector Sanchez pinch hitting here with Upton at third base, Norris at second base, and 1 out in the Padres' 9th inning. Lined into right field, a base hit. From third comes Melvin Upton Jr. Derek Norris from second base. He will score. And how about this? The Padres coming back and making some serious noise. Now trailed by just a run. And the tying run is at first base with 1 out.
Wow. Getting Ziegler up in the zone. As we mentioned, that ground ball fly ball ratio almost 6-1. Well, the Padres are putting together some good at-bats right here and making things interesting here at Chase Field.
Now Amarista standing in here on the left side. And a grounder to first. Goldschmidt will go to second for 1. Back to first for 2. And that will end the ball game. Now the Padres made it interesting, getting back within a run, but Amarista grounding into the 3-6-3 twin killing that ends this ball game. And the Padres with a valiant comeback comes up short. 8-7 the final as we send it to Mike Pomeranz.